Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the evil that men do. Father God, I pray and ask that you help me to have mercy on others the same way I would want you to have mercy on me. Father God, I also ask that you help me to be quick to forgive and slow to get angry. Amen, amen, amen. These young dudes out here don't respect shit until you put the barrel in their ear and let the text spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit, remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, trick, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like fuck it, where my mask at? The mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything I learned in anger management. Hop back on some east side managed shit and push a nigga's top back when I let the cannon spit. Start planning shit, premeditation. I'm in love with the streets again, rededication. Casket or cremation when I shoot you down. I was built for the smoke like a hookah lounge. I keep big shit that sound like a bazooka sound, and I shoot quicker than ain't gotta be a hoop around. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Gun on me, it ain't never for show, homie. I'm far from a bully, but I'm never a hoe. Get out of line, my Beretta will blow. Real talk, we can take the beef wherever we go. I bring it to your front door like I'm Uber Eats. I guarantee you listen up when this Ruger speaks. Plus I maneuver through these streets like a ghost, and I'm handy with the heat, I cook a nigga like a roast. On me, homie, this is not a boast. I will still come through, boy, and stop a nigga's post. Play him close, man, Eric will ease it. Quickly off the waistband, man, and Eric will squeeze it. Leave you niggas laid out dead or paraplegic. Niggas playing in these streets while I'm very strategic. I come to your house dressed like the gas man, shoot you 9 times, leave you stretched by the trash can. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. I don't put shit on Facebook, I just holler in person. Put the pistol in your mouth while you're hollering in cursing. All that shit you kept rehearsing and put on your live, got your clap with the big 4-5. You bitch nigga, if you tell me to pull up, I'ma do that. That nigga who was whooping first nigga that I shoot at. Ski mask on my face, bystanders be like, who that? I ain't with the talking, bitch boy, I thought you knew that. Leave his brains where my shoe at and bounce like I'm on a trampoline. Leave you laid out, nigga, like you camping on the scene. If you want something sweet, grab a peach or tangerine. Niggas won't smoke, well fuck it, I'ma let them handle steam. AR with the beam, you see the red dot? We tug on this trigger, nigga, it'll make your head pop. Blood pouring down to your shoes, call it Red Sox. Your brains hanging all over your shoulders like some dreadlocks. Expect the gang of dead off if they ever cross the line. The Lord said in the Bible, oh, revenge is mine. So I'm just trying to find a righteous path between the two. Before I lose control and do the shit I used to do. This being humble shit is new. I'm trying to turn the other cheek, but I ain't never been a bitch, so watch your mouth when you speak. Your mercy's what I seek, so I pray on bended knees. Don't let me get the K with the extended clip and squeeze. Lord, please. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps.
All right, y'all. Good Sunday afternoon, y'all. We ain't gonna be here a long time. I'm gonna let y'all go back and eat your dinner and be with your family, whatever. We're just gonna talk this over real quick. Are demons real? Are demons real? What you mean, Clarence? Are demons real? Are demons, can a person be overcome by negative influences that are not necessarily have their own material that they move in, scene material, right? In other words, you looking for a demon to have horns on the top of its head and a tail, right? Be all red and have them horse hooves, right? There's a demon, Clarence. But there ain't nothing like that, Clarence. So therefore, their demons don't exist. No, the concept of the demon that they gave you don't exist. A demon exists, and I'm going to go through it to show you that demons exist, right? Shout out to Don Frank. Yeah, demons do exist, right? First, let's take care of um, Brother Eric. Shout out to Brother Eric, man, better known 16 to Life, letting us use his music. Go over to his page, 16 to Life, the YouTube page, and go check him out, man. Funny stuff over there, man. Good dude, man. Just a good dude. Go check out all the stuff. We got music, skits, a lot of different stuff over there, man. Very entertaining. Go over there and check out Brother Eric, man. All right, that's Brother Eric. Excuse me, y'all. You know, I'm just getting over, man. I had a really serious cold, man. I had a really serious cold. Y'all gotta excuse my office, man. I haven't really been in here in about 3 weeks, so stuff is starting to stack all over the place. But I'm gonna clean it up. Y'all know how I get down, man. I am not a person that likes stuff out of order, man. So I'll definitely get to it. Um, but yeah, man. Do demons exist? Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. Before I do that, man, let's check everybody in, man, that's here, that wants to be checked in. Our brother from another mother, Brother Vagoda, our Jewish brother from Israel. Shout out to Vagoda. Vagoda said, Clarence, I don't know. I don't see. I think black people are. He sent me. He sent me a comment. I think black people get the best treatment out of everybody in America. I said, Vagoda, you just don't know, man. We ain't even got enough time. If we had like if we had a show for like a whole year, man. The show start on January 1st and end on December 3rd. We ain't got enough time to go through all of the evidence to show you that no, it's the reverse, bro. It is definitely reverse, right? They pick and choose stories to throw in front of and how to set them up so to get the people's sympathy or not get the people's sympathy, right? But shout out to Vagoda, man. You just don't know, man. He just ignorant of the situation. But shout out to Vagoda. Who else is in the building? My sister Don Frank. Don Frank is in the building. Now y'all got to remember about Don, man. Don is the one that said, Clarence, man, put your what do you call that, Cash App out there. And I was like, Don, I ain't really trying to get money, get paid like that. And I said, no, Clarence, because it's not about you getting paid. It's about the people that want to help you, and they feeling it, man, and they want to just throw some money at you, and that so they can feel like they're helping. You denying them that opportunity. I said, oh wow. She broke it down to me real good, man. So that's why you see my Cash App down at the bottom, man. You look at that sister and say, okay, that's Don. Don talked some sense into that crazy brother. Shout out to Don Frank. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, sis. I guess you've been working and I've been sick, man. So I've been down for about 3 weeks. Y'all still say I got a little twang of it left in my voice. But shout out to Don. Good to see you, sis. Who else in the building? My brother Von Bryant. He said, greeting, peace, joy, grace, and abundance, man. That is a good brother right there, man. That's a good brother, but don't get it twisted, man. Von will drop the safe on you, man. If you start talking crazy, Von will drop the safe on you, man. So, but Von is definitely a good brother, man. Good brother. Glad to have him on the team, man. Shout out to Von Bryant. Well, us in the building, my sister in the excuse me. Right. She said, hey, Brother Clarence. yeah, Sister Eddie's one of those type of sisters, man. She make her presence felt very softly, man. But don't get it twisted. Sister Annie is a Taurus. That's y'all. Some of y'all keep forgetting. Sister Annie is a Taurus. So Sister Annie will. I know these Tauruses, man. That's why I don't mess with her. Well, a lot of times, me and Sister Annie kind of a lot of times think on the same wavelength. It's very few times where we had very opposing views on stuff. But even then, I listen to her, she'll listen to me, and we'll just kind of work it out. But usually I go with her. Because she's a Taurus, man. And so I know I do not go against these Tauruses, man. Shout out to Sister Eddie. Glad to have you in the building, sis. Who else in the building? Oh, our Sister Lady Navarre, man, from the village. Shout out to the village. Shout out to Lady Navarre. She said, JBJ, sir, yes, they do exist like angels as well. That's a good point. I haven't brought that up yet, Lady Navarre. As well as there's a heaven and a hell. Palm Brian Bishop and any beautiful lady. I love you guys. Shout out to you. We love you too, Lady Navarre. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Who else in the building? Let's see. I think I checked everybody in. Oh, Silas the Cheesecake Goat. Tiffany shot her sons because the fathers wouldn't help her. I don't know that for sure, Silas. We won't know until we won't know for sure until she tells us. I don't know about right now. She ain't talking, right? So we don't know. That's a theory, though. That's one theory, though, Silas. That's one theory. Shout out to Silas. Glad to have you in the building today. Von Brian says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against rulers of darkness, the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." We're gonna break that down in just a little while, Vaughn. Don't go away. I'm going to say that's not what I said. I said you have a lot of power and a lot of influence. Once again, I'm gonna tell you the same thing, Pagoda. You just don't know. It looks like that, but you just don't know. You just don't know. But that's okay. You don't live here in America, Pagoda. You live in Israel, so you're used to accepting what they put on the news as truth, and the news is just a version of what happened, right? They have their version, and they can shape it any way they want to. So sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, when it has something to do with Black people in America, this what they call news it sounds like they're telling you the truth or the actual facts, but news is entertainment. If you look at the most of these uh, channels, they consider news part of the entertainment portion of the company, right? So they're there to entertain, right? So that's why they have these sensational stories, and then they have a story about a puppy that almost got hit going across the street. I mean, they try to appeal to a lot of different people, but you'll see if we go to you watch more mainstream American news, and you will see you'll start putting it together what we're trying to tell you. But that's like me saying, Jewish people do all this bad stuff, right? This is only just Jewish people doing all this bad stuff. I could go with what the media tries to put out about you, but I know better than that. I know that, of course, there's some Jews that are unscrupulous, and then, of course, there's some Jews that are not. So, you know what I mean? We don't just accept what we being told, but I think, sometimes people that don't live in America, they accept what they're being told from the news, right? But I'm sure you keep hanging out with us, we'll have you straight. Yeah, shout out to my sister Enya, the poetess. Man, you guys get a chance to pick up some of Sister Enya's poetry. Very uplifting, very uplifting. Say hello, y'all. I'm just here to troll, bro. Just shout out to her. Okay, we'll hold tight, Sister Eddie. She just playing. Hold tight, Sister Eddie, man. Oh boy. Okay, now everybody that's been here, and some of you guys in the bushes and all that. Okay, now we done got to the real deal here. The real deal is here now, and that is Sister Risa Neal, right? Okay, right. So she is our resident sniper. Why are you calling her a sniper, Clarence? Because if you start talking sideways, and Risa cannot determine whether you're doing something in a positive way or a negative way, Risa's that kind of person. We'll err on the side of we'll err on the side of the channel, right? And you just get poofed out of here, right? And then I'll tell you once again, this is how it's gonna go. You're gonna say, hey, Clarence, one of your mods got rid of me, right? Me and Eddie and Vaughn and everybody else are going to act like we don't know who did it, right? We all know who did it. We all know who put you out. But we just, when you ask me, I'm just going to say, well, do you want to come back? Do you want to come in? When you send me that email going in saying one of your mods just did me wrong, I'm going to say, okay, do you want to come back? Right? So how do we avoid getting Risa involved today other than listening? Hey, man, let's just be respectful to each other. If you have a question, she's not here to stop you from questioning me or anybody else on the panel. She's just here to make sure that the respect level stays the same. If you can't question us or treat us with respect, then of course she's going to jettison you, you know what I'm saying? You'll get rid of you like one of those planes going down in the Pacific, right? You're gonna be out of there, right? But shout out to Reese Neal, glad to have you in the building, sis. Good, that's another good sister, man. All of these people, everybody I named in the chat is they're just good people, man. But Reese is another one. Now she may seem like she's tough, but I think underneath all that, she's a cupcake, man. Reese is a cupcake, but don't get it twisted. Like Vaughn, like Eddie, don't get it twisted. You poke a little too far. they'll show you how bad things can get, right? Size the Cat said, hey, Child's the cheesecake goat said, I hope Tiffany gets life in prison. Well, we're gonna talk about it, Silas. I hope you stick around so you can come on the panel, right? Because we're gonna talk about it, man. What would make a woman, listen to this, what would make a woman or a man kill their kids or their children or their family, the wife and everything, or the husband? What would make somebody get to the point where they feel like that's a good decision? We're gonna get to that. Let's see. I think that's everybody we checked in, everybody that wants to go. Let's see. Silas says, and I know John List shot his daughters because he was paranoid they'd abandon God and get old and started get me into boys and drinking. Well, let's talk about it. Silas. Love to have you on the panel today. I'm going to set a couple things up, and then I'm going to have whoever wants to come on the panel come on the panel. Brother Anderson, another Taurus. This is my Taurus brother. This is my Taurus sister. Anderson, my Taurus brother. He said, we black again. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Yes, sir. We are black again. But sister, Brother Anderson, now one time Brother Anderson even came up here. We was getting money for the backpacks, right? We had to put off some stuff for this year because we got a really good invite to do some serious things for the city of Los Angeles and the kids in the city of Los Angeles. So that's what we're working on right now, y'all. Don't think we've abandoned helping the people. Nah. Some of these people just come here to talk and, posturize and, try to position themselves to have sex with some of their viewers and all that. We ain't here to do that, man. We here to make build a group of people out of the viewers or whatever that want to do right, and they got they're willing to do a couple things to do that. So that's all we here for, man. And we ain't putting nobody down. Just saying that's their thing, but this is our thing. We'll go to say I have a number of sources. I look at it from news channel. We'll go to come on, man, stop. Stop. Like you said, man, we need to have that show one day. We just really let you know how stuff really is in America for black people, man, for the most part. Let's see. Who else in the building? OG Patrice in the building. Say shout out to OG Patrice. That's another good sister, man. Brother Anderson, good brother, but man, OG Patrice, another good sister, man. We just got good people, man. I got blessed, y'all, Now, did I have some alternative thinkers here? Yeah, we did. But we just kept pushing God's program, man. And you know what they say? Just keep putting it in the program, the devil gonna flee, right? Ain't no fun. Ain't no fun messing with y'all and all of y'all care about each other, love each other, trying to do good for each other. That ain't no fun over here. Especially when they used to come over here try to attack. They used to try to attack me, Patrice, and Rico specifically. Oh my God, how many times did I get told Rico's gonna close your channel down? Rico's gonna do this. Rico's gonna do that. Right? Why you got OG Patrice up there? What are you doing? She just bringing up. So many times, man, people would say stuff to me about the people over here. I said, yeah, okay. I just say, yeah, okay, all right. Shout out to OG Patrice, man. Glad to have you to build a sister. That is a good sister, man. If you knew some of the stuff this sister does behind the scenes, man, it's some stuff, man. Some of y'all ain't gonna never find out about, but I've been fortunate enough to be close enough to the sister to find out about some of the stuff she's doing behind the scenes, man. I'm telling you, man, these are good people, man. These good people. They ain't perfect. None of us are, man. Some of us have made some mistakes, but man, not some of us, excuse me. All of us have made some mistakes, but I wouldn't trade it for them. I wouldn't trade it for nothing, man. Clarence, we're gonna give you $1 million. Kick Patrice off the set. Nope. Oh, Clarence, you don't really mean that. I said, no. I'm gonna tell you how I can say something like that. Because I keep my lifestyle in a position where love is the best thing that I could get, not money. So because I have that perspective, money ain't, I don't need a whole lot of money. Because you got a whole lot of money don't mean a lot of people love you, right? A lot of people, you're going to have a lot of people's attention. That don't mean people love you. How many of y'all really know what love is? Are you being loved right now? Are you able to give love right now? See, I got a group of people we give and receive. It's all good, man. We give and receive. And if somebody steps up and says, hey, man, I'm having a hard day this week or had a hard week, this week, can I throw a little extra love my way? Boom. But see, some of y'all can't understand because you stuck on the American way of life, which is money, 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 money. You got more money. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's something bad with money, but when that's the apex of your, like, that's what gets you high, not love. Okay, so when the money gone, then what? Hello, somebody. Anyway, let's get to the Great Pill Podcast. Shout out to the Great Pill Podcast, man. Salute. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the Great Pill, get on over there and check him out, man. Good dude. It's another good dude, man. Another good dude. Now, do all of these people I'm telling you about agree with me 100% of the time? No. I've gotten into it with Annie, Risa, Patrice, Vaughn, Rico. Oh, man, me and Rico. We done got to knock down, drug out fights. And then you know what Rico say? All right, man, call me tomorrow, right? After cussing me out for 45 minutes to an hour, right? You say, hey, all right, man, you act like it never happened, right? That's how your loved ones do you, right? They act like it never happened. But Rico is another good dude, man. Another good dude. Shout out to Jeff Short. Shout out to Jeff Short. That's another good dude, man. Another good dude. Shout out to Jeff Short. Glad to have you guys in the building, man. Who else is in the building, man, before I get started, man? Who else is in the building? Before I get started, let's get through everybody so we can get moving, man. Go to say he opened the door, he'll open it and say, oh man, come on. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Y'all. Let's get to it. Now I want to ask y'all, are demons real? See, because the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the best thing that the devil was able to do is to let the people know, is to make the people think that he and his associates do not exist. Meaning that the bad that has happened in your life can be attributed to, chalk it up to randomness, or blame God for it, right? God who said, who he said, "I'll desire ease for all of you," right? In the Quran, he said, "I desire ease for you, not you know, hardship," right? So why would somebody who desires ease for you put you in these bad situations, right? You ain't got no money, you ain't got no job, this happened, somebody got sick. So, why would God, who said, I desire ease for you, put you in that situation? Well, that's what you have to say to yourself. You got to say, well, it's just God. Because you won't acknowledge that the devil exists or the demons exist. What do we say? What do we mean when we say demon? We're talking about somebody who is pushing you to do, have hardships in your life by either making mistakes or, but basically defying God. God say, do this. And you say, I'm not going to do it. Well, there's a consequence for everything we do, right? Some things is involuntary. God had to make them involuntary, or we'd all be dead, right? Because some of us are so lazy, right? He had to make breathing involuntary. Because some of us are so lazy, man, we wouldn't even open our mouth to breathe and we would just die. So God said, hey, look, man, some of these people are so lazy, man. I'll just make this involuntary, right? And the other stuff that, is going on in your body, I'll just make that involuntary. So, because if they had to have the hand in how this situation operates, some of them are so lazy, man, they would just die just off the laziness, right? Shout out to Brother Marcus. Good to see you in the building, my brother. So the first video I want to show y'all, man, is a little bit about Susan Smith. I think let me find that one. But we want to know, and I'm going to tell y'all, right? Where's Susan Smith? Where's Susan Smith? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, this is Susan Smith. Susan Smith, who drowned her two sons in 1994, is preparing to get out of prison. Okay? Who would have thought this lady would ever get out of prison? She did 30 years, and now she's about to walk out of prison, right? All right, let's take a look. Look, in 1994, Smith let her car roll into the South Carolina lake with her 3-year-old and 14-month-old sons still strapped into their car seats. Think about that for just a minute, y'all. How bad is things going to get? Well, let's look at the Bible. What does the Bible say about the last days? This is 2 Timothy 3. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. How you gonna know when you're in the last days? Is God gonna, put the last days on everybody's TV? And you won't be able to change every channel is gonna say, these are the last days. No, it ain't gonna happen like that. It's gonna be signs that you're gonna see, right? People will be lovers of themselves. Well, hey, are the people lovers of themselves? Yes. Yes. They love their own image. Talking about lovers of their image, right? Most men, you know what most men are doing? Most men are constantly uh they're constantly jockeying for sexual selection, right? They want to be they want to put themselves in a position where they can be sexually selected above other men, right? That's why most men are really aggressive with each other, because they see every other man as a sexual rival. Now this is what Freud said. Freud said this, but I'm in agreement with it. I'm in agreement with that. He said basically everything breaks down to sex, right? But I'll get into that in a little while. Okay, so the lovers of money. Are they lovers of money? Boastful. Are they boastful? Girl, girl, I could do something for you. That other clown, Vaughn, can't do nothing for you. I could do something for you, girl. Right? They proud, right? Hey, Clarence, you was wrong right there, man. You need to apologize to Patrice. I ain't apologizing to Patrice. I ain't apologizing to Eddie. I ain't apologizing to Risa. Not at all. Why not? Because if I do, I'm going to feel bad. And if I feel bad, I don't like that. So I'm not going to apologize. But you wrong, Clarence. I know I'm wrong, but I'm not going to apologize. They're abusive. People abusing each other in today's world. Come on now. Come on. They're disobedient to their parents. Oh my gosh. This is the worst generation of disobedient people to their parents. Ungrateful. Holy smokes. Unholy. Holy smokes. Without love, unforgiving, right? We want everybody to forgive us, but we don't want to be forgiven, right? Matter of fact, you know what? Let me let y'all do this. Let me break that Susan Smith thing. Let me give y'all this. Let me give y'all this real quick, man. Let me give y'all this. Yeah, let me give y'all this real quick. All right, here we go. Are we there? All right, here we go. Here we go. Right? Unforgiving slanderers. Are we slandering each other? Without self-control. Are we out here running around without self-control, right? The brothers out here breaking into these women's houses, can't take no for an answer, right? Brutal. People killing their kids. Not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Oh boy. Having a form of godliness, but denying its power. Now, stop. This is most people, especially most people that say, I got God. 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 I got God, right? But they don't know how to take the word and actually unlock it and make it and make it relevant and usable for today, right? You sit there and you listen to a preacher, or you listen to an imam or whatever, right? Or rabbi, and you hear that word. Yeah, I hear that word. But you unable to open that word and put it into use for yourself, right? That's why we got to, even though you hear the word, but Paul said, be not don't just be hearers of the word, be what? Doers of the word. What good is it for you to hear the word and then, I'm not saying you got to give all your money to every homeless person you see, but you see somebody and the spirit, God tell you, hey, this one right here, get in there. Get in there on this one, right? Because sometimes, man, I have this happen to me too. I don't, every homeless person, I don't give them money. I don't give them food or a drink or nothing. But there's once in a while, God will be like, that one right there, get them something to eat, right? I'm never going to disrespect them, but sometimes he tell me just mind my business. But some of y'all mind your business all the time, right? and you got your business so bad, right? At least I used to, right? And you don't even help you don't help nobody, right? Especially our homeless or just unhoused brothers and sisters, their kids. But Clarence, they running the game on me. I know they running the game on you. That's okay. What? So what? They running the game on you for $2 or $3. So what? You can sneak up next to them and just say, "Try God," right? But Clarence, no, they ain't gonna play me. How they playing you? That person is giving you an opportunity to do what God told you to do, right? But they try to tell Jesus the same thing. Jesus told him, hey, you you haven't done nothing good for me. You haven't done nothing good for me. And I'm come from the person that you say you love. You say you love God. You say you love God. Well, this is him talking to the Jews. You say you love God, who you ain't never seen. But here I am. You see me every day, right? You see me every day and you hate me. You looking to kill me. They said, Abraham is our father. Abraham is our father. He said, how can you be Abraham? You say Abraham your father. Abraham is on the same line of how I got here. God sent Abraham, God sent me. He said, how can you say that? Right? He said, when I was down and out, you didn't minister to me. When I was hungry, you gave me not to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me not to drink. They said, Lord, when have we done these things? We have never done these things to you. He said, if you have not done it to the least of these, my brethren. He called these people in the gutters and doing all this crazy stuff. He said, these are my brothers. These are the least of these, my brethren. You have also not done it unto me. Woo. Pew, right? Their head got blown, right? He said, how can you love God who you ain't never seen? And you looking to kill me. And God, the one you say you love, sent me. God sent me. Right? uh, but I'm illustrating all of this to show that we're in the last days. What's the last days? What is that? That is this is the last this is the finishing up of a certain time period that evil is going to be the number one thinking process. This is the last days. Some new days are going to come where evil won't even be a thought. But first, we have to go through this little thing here, right? Because the real ones got to come out. The real ones going to be there, right? The real ones going to understand that, hey, you know what? It's not a abracadabra, snap your fingers. God could do that, but you know, trials purify. And once we go through some trials, man, we gonna see who's the real one, who ain't a real one, right? God don't want to be around a bunch of fakes and phonies, right? I got in on a technicality. What? Ain't gonna be no technicalities, man. Either you put in some work or you didn't, right? There's work out there, man. There's work out there. The field is wide open. What did Jesus say? The field's wide open. Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the field's wide open for the thinking awake and thinking black man. It's wide open. Jesus said it like this: the harvest is ripe. The harvest is ripe. I mean, hey, the people are ready to get the information. Whether they all gonna take it in, that's a different story. But the people are it's time for the people to get this information. He said the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. Who's really gonna do this work? Who's really gonna do this work, man? What am I saying? Do you got to go out here and be a preacher? No, I'm not saying you got to be a preacher. All we've been asked to do is show people that God is real and He can do some positive things. We have all been indoctrinated with the evil of a wicked society. We have all been. I don't care what your color is. I don't care how much Jesus you got. I don't care how much Muhammad, peace be upon him, you got. I don't care how much Judaism, I don't care how much you got in you. We have all been, death has, sin has stretched to all men, as the Bible says, right? So evil, wicked thinking has stretched to all of us. When you come out of the womb, you ain't thinking evil, because the brain is meant to think in a righteous motion. The brain is not meant to think backwards. When you telling lies and doing evil, everything in the brain is water, moves all the thoughts. The water in the brain has to go backwards against itself, right? Some of y'all got headaches. some of y'all got them headaches, the migraines. Stop telling all them lies. I'm just kidding. But your life would be better without a whole lot of lying, because that adds stress to us. And stress is just, see, I'm gonna tell y'all how the devil work. If you don't know, if you can't tell when you're being lied to, then the devil could keep lying to you. And the Quran said, when you leave God, you get a devil for a companion. God, that's me. Why would you give me a devil for a companion? It's not God. It's you either with God or the devil. And the devil, once you leave God, there ain't nothing else but devils out there. God is punishing me. He can. But you walking away, that's you punishing yourself. You give yourself, we get, what they would call it? We get a companion. You leave God, you get a companion, right? You can't see this companion. You don't have the spiritual vision to see this companion. This companion might come in a new friend that start dragging you down, because in actuality, they've been jealous of you the whole time. And then the demon that's in them would jump off of them and jump into you. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. We just trying to help you. Just trying to help you, right? All right, let me get into it, man. Let's talk about this stuff. Let's see. Where was I at? I was up here on 2 Timothy number 3. Now this is them saying, this is Timothy telling you what Jesus telling him. Have nothing to do with such people. All that stuff I read up here, at the end, to say, have nothing to do with such people. Why? Because all of this stuff is contagious. Negative energy is contagious, y'all. If y'all didn't know that, negative energy is contagious. You don't want that energy around you, man. Because next thing you know, it start taking over your life. It start taking over your soul, right? We're going to read just a little more, and we're going to get back to the Susan Smith. They are the kind who worm their way into homes and gain control over gullible women. Oh, man. They're the kind of worm their way into and take control of gullible women, right? You got a good friend, man, and he see your wife. He said, oh, man, your wife, you introduce him to, yeah, man, let me introduce you to my wife. Next thing you know, your good friend is showing up to your house when you ain't there. Once he learned your schedule, first they sitting around talking about you and how they both adore you. Next thing you know, they pumping and sweating in the shed. Now, I've always said this, and I believe this. Only a sucker would sleep with somebody else's wife or somebody else's girlfriend. Only a sucker. There's billions of women out here. Damn sure don't have to share one with somebody who already got a woman that's committed to them, or so, quote unquote. Oh, Clint, you don't understand, man. We just out here trying to get it. I said, I don't care how. You can get it all you want. Just get your own. I guess I'm just a man. I stand on my own goddamn feet, man. I would never have sex with somebody else's woman. Never. If while I know. So some of these women will play you. But I mean, I'm saying that this is somebody else's woman. Oh no, man. In the nation, that is a no-no. I ain't saying it ain't happening, but that is a big no-no. That is a big no-no, man. And going by your brother's house when your brother's not there, that is a big no-no. A big no-no. Anyway, and then you can be subject to get kicked out of the nation for doing something like that. But anyway, let's get back to it. Gullible women. Why? Are there gullible women out there? Y'all? Of course there are gullible women out there. Right? They see a man, he got a nice car, he got a good job. Oh, he's a good dude. Not necessarily, women. Not necessarily. You can't go by what a dude got to say he's a good person. There's a lot of men that got a lot of stuff. They ain't good people. Then there's men that's on their way to getting something, but they ain't got nothing right now. They're good dudes. You got to be able to look at the character of a person. See, so I'll go back to character, y'all. Got to be able to look at the character of a person and be able to see what's going on. Okay, let's finish up here. Who are loaded down with sin. Loaded down with sins. And are swayed by all kinds of evil desire. Wait a minute. These gullible women are loaded down with sins. That means they doing all kind of stuff behind the husband's back, behind the man's back, right? And are swayed by all kinds of evil desires. You know why? Because guess what, man? If this woman is going to be, if there's a dude out there already taking care of her and she's still bopping other people, what do you think she's going to do for you if she comes fully into your grasp? What do you think is going to happen when she get bored with you? But men always think it's stupid. I can change her. I got the magic stick. I can change her. Okay, partner, you keep on. Always learning, but never able to come to a knowledge of truth. Right? They always, on something, but they can never make it work for themselves, right? They can never make it, none of this. They can give out advice, right? But they can never make it work. That's why I always say that, man. On YouTube, man, this is the only place I know, man, where you could, man, you could run into somebody and they can give you all kind of advice on marriage. You ever been married? Nope. You ever almost been married? Nope. Well, how can you think you can give marriage advice? This is just what I think. Oh, well, just say that then. Don't say you give marriage advice. How can you give marriage advice? You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all, man, I'm just saying, man, some of us, man, I look at it like this. I'm not gonna take my car to a mechanic. Hey, you ever worked on a car? No, I never worked on them. Okay. Why should I leave my car with you? Because I read about them. My cousin used to tell me about them. And therefore, I think I could do it. No. You wouldn't go to an airline. Hey, Mr. Pilot, you ever flown before? No, this is my first trip. This is my first trip. You ever flown successfully? No, never. Crashed every time I went up. You're like, how can you give me advice on flying? How you gonna, But YouTube, some kind of way, man, just goes around that logic, man. Just say, hey, look, this person ain't never had no success being married. They ain't happy. They ain't not looking to be happy. But I'm gonna listen to them for marriage advice. Crazy. All right, let's get back to it, y'all, because we got a lot to get to, man. We got to shut this down real quick. Let's see. Always learning, whatever. And then just as James and Jambres opposed Moses, right? He's like the leaders of the community oppose Moses. So all these teachers oppose truth. They are men of depraved minds. Come on, y'all. Who, as far as the faith is concerned, are rejected. some of these guys in the pulpit, but they will not get very far because, as in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. See, at a certain point, the veil, the veil is going to be lifted, and they're gonna have to deal with what they did. All right, let's get back to Susan Smith, man. I want to finish that. Right, I want to finish Susan Smith, and then we're gonna move on to the other ones real quick. We're not gonna take a long time, y'all. This is going to be, here we go. All right. 1994, Smith left her car, let her car roll into a South Carolina lake with her two. Oh. You see the time we living in, y'all? She then falsely told police that a black man had carjacked her and kidnapped her boy. Wait a minute. Let's go back. Let's go back. She then falsely told police that a black man had carjacked her and kidnapped the boys before finally copping to the heinous act 9 days later. Okay, Vagoda, this is one of the times you need to be paying attention, right? She falsely told police, and she could have told the police it was a white man. She could have told police it was a Asian man. She could have told police it was a Latino man. Who did she tell the police it was? A black man. Why do you think she told the police it was a black man? Because that would that would have made the police less suspicious because they feel like blacks are thieves and murderers anyway by trade. That she thought that would put less suspicion on her. Just say, "Oh, it's a random black dude did it." Oh, and they're gonna go all out, right? All right, let's continue, y'all. Her alleged motive for the sickening act was that she was having an affair with a wealthy man who didn't want children. So let me break it down to y'all. She was working at this company. The dude's father owned the company. He was like an executive at the company, but his father owned the business. So she thought he was like moving towards a relationship with her, but he never wanted no. He was just bejoinking her. He wasn't no relationship with her. She had 2 kids by some other dude, and the father was very much in the kid's life. He's like, I don't want no part of that. I just want the sex. See, some of y'all got to watch out for these dudes, man. These dudes, man, they play the part because they just getting sex, right? They want to have sex with somebody, but she made up in her own head that they were getting close, and so when the dude finally told her, "Nah, man, I'm not having no relationship with you. This ain't no relationship. This is me, stabbing and bagging you. That's it." She said, "Why? Because you got somebody else's kids. I don't want no part of that. I just want the sex." Mm, mm. Great Pill Podcast says, I think that should be a leading question. Are you married and how long? Yeah, Great Pill, but some of these people lie. They lie. Some of these women will lie. Same thing like the men. They'll just lie until they just get backed into a corner. So the dude said, hey, when he saw that she was trying to make a relationship happen, shout out to Bolo TV in the Village, y'all. Shout out to Bolo TV in the Village. When he saw that she was trying to make a relationship out of this thing, that's when he started pulling up. Right? Right? He started pulling up like a fighter pilot, right? Uh-oh. Getting too close, losing altitude. Let me, right? She said, I got a great idea. I'll get rid of the kids and I'll have the man. Think about that for just a minute. We're talking about the last days. Think about that for just a minute. What would happen? How bad of a environment are we living in where a mother would kill her children, murk her children to get a man to stay with her. That's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna fix it. Let's see. Let's see. According to prison call recordings, Smith has since carried on sexual and romantic conversations with at least a dozen men in the past 3 years. Yeah, she's crazy, right? Remember, Bible said they're going to be slanderous, without control, brutal, not lovers of good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Holy smokes. Okay, let's continue. Family sources saying she is hard at work, luring in sugar daddies with phone sex who are willing to bankroll her life on the outside. Holy smokes. This is a person that's just broken. She broken. Now, how are we going to, I mean, it's sad that her kids don't get another chance, but she gets another chance. But she won't get another chance because that, no matter what she do, she running from the pain of doing what she did to them children by trying to block it out with sex. And it'll never happen. It'll never happen. And what she need to be on is a suicide watch. Because somebody that did something like that, man, how can you escape that? You ain't never gonna escape that. Oh yes, I am glad because she gonna be hook up with a rich dude and she gonna okay, she go with 10 rich dudes. How is she gonna ever have a good night's sleep knowing that she killed her 2 kids? Let alone the people who see her on the street. She's gonna have to change her name and all that and go into witness protection, all that. But even with all that, she knows in her heart she did that. Just like you know in your heart, you screwed somebody back in the day. You know, that's still bothering you. That's still bothering you. Imagine if you did something like this. Oh man, holy smokes, y'all. All right, let's continue, y'all, because we gotta get to it. We gotta get to some other ones. In a March recording, one suitor claimed that he had a large nest egg waiting for her if she was paroled, telling her, I think you'll be in the $220,000 range. Right? What is that? What if it was 220 million? You think you're gonna get away from the convicting spirit that God gave us all? Self-convicting spirit. Why did God give us that? God gave us that so we would stop doing stuff and we would not do it again. We would not repeat stuff that made us feel that bad that we knew we went against God. But it looks like she's keeping on going. Why? She got to, man. She got no choice. Her head, she is in a fixed position. She's in a fixed position, man. She cannot turn back from what she did. Only thing she could do is show some remorse or, just dedicate her life to helping other people. But she ain't doing that. That's why she ain't never going to get a good night's sleep. Never. And you put her on a suicide watch. But don't say Brother Clarence didn't tell you. Experts say Smith is unlikely to be paroled on her first attempt, possibility. Okay, so this is just a parole hearing. I thought she was served because I thought she had got life. I thought she had got life, but maybe she got life and she could get parole. She got. I thought life without the possibility of parole, but she got the possibility of parole, right? I don't think 30 years been long enough for y'all. Anyway, what y'all think? Let me bring some people in. Whoever wants to come in and talk about it. What y'all think? Because we're going to get out of here, man. We'll stay here no long time. Let's see. Let's take Susan Smith down. Now let's take somebody who did something even I can't believe it, I'm gonna say it, but if somebody did something even more vicious to her children, even more vicious. Let's see. What is this? Yeah. Now, this chick right here. Now, this chick you looking at is Tiffiny Lucus. And what Tiffiny Lucus did was she went into her house, and these are her two sons by two different men. And she shot both of these two little boys in the back of the head. Right? Then ran to a neighbor's house and said, I think my kids are dying. Right? Why she didn't just pick up the phone 911? Well, why did she have to pull the trigger on these kids anyway? Right? But see, so let me tell you her story. So she was a single mom. I forgot where she was living, some maybe South Carolina, something like that, and someplace in the southeast, and she wasn't getting that much help from her. They say baby's daddy, but we don't know. See, I don't want to charge the fathers, but they say she wasn't getting a lot of help from them financially. So she had to do her own she had to do whatever she had to do to get money to pay the rent. Now she had a nice little spot, nice house that she was renting, right? She got her kids taken away from her because she had some drug problems earlier. I can't believe the fathers actually gave the kids back to them. There's no way I would have gave these kids back to them. I would have been, if either one of them was my son, man, I would have been at court fighting for them every time. I would have been kept swinging and swinging and swinging. But the fathers let this crazy lady take these kids back. That's why I'm always telling y'all, man, what is the first thing you look for when you start dating somebody? Mental illness. That's the first thing you look for. Nobody's going to come out and tell you, yeah, well, not nobody. Let me say it this way. 99% of the people out there are not going to say, yeah, I've been diagnosed with bipolar. I'm diagnosed with depression. I'm diagnosed with this or that. They're not going to tell you that. Why? Because they know if you know they have mental illness, they know you're going to leave them alone. So the only way that they feel safe to have you around them is to have you to hide that knowledge from you. Now, as you spend time with them, you see them do these weird things, and you're like, what's going on? Like they seem like normal people because a lot of these people, especially with mental illness, they've learned that if they show that mental illness too soon, the person's just gonna, be out. But that's for their own safety, right? You're not gonna get in a relationship with somebody that's mentally ill, not a romantic relationship with somebody that's mentally ill. That's for your own protection. I don't see nothing wrong with that. People tell me, Clarence, that's not good. You shouldn't hold it over somebody's head that they got mental illness. I'm not holding it over their head. I'm just not going to involve myself romantically with somebody like that. That's not good business, right? That is not good business, right? Hold on, Vagoda. That's not good business. But I want to play a little bit of this. Let's see.
The Kentucky woman accused of shooting her own children in the head gets her trial date pushed back again. We're taking a look at why her attorneys say they need more time. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Tiffiny Lucus, the woman accused of murdering her own sons just after Halloween last year, was back in a Kentucky courtroom on Monday. At 32 years old, she allegedly shot 6-year-old Maurice
Oh my
Baker
God.
Jr. and 9-year-old Jaden Howard
Oh my
back on
God.
November 8th, 2023, inside a home in Bullitt County, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Really hard case to get through. And what is so eerie and what is so unsettling about this is that there were photos and videos of her and the boys appearing happy.
Are you walking? Are y'all shopping? Yeah. Go Peanut. Go Peanut. No Peanut. No Peanut. Yay. Oh.
On the day of the shooting, neighbors reportedly called 911 after hearing gunshots. They claim that Lucas ran outside and said that, quote, the kids were dying. One of the neighbors ran inside the house to try to help, but the injuries were just too devastating. Both boys were rushed to a children's hospital but died. When police got to the scene, Lucas was allegedly lying in her neighbor's driveway. She told the cops that the shooting was an accident. She said someone had given her a gun, but said she would never have done something like this unless someone, quote, manipulated her. And she also said that she was, quote, in such a bad spot. That's reporting according to law enforcement.
All right, gentlemen. Let's go Vagoda, Bolo,
Okay.
then Vaughn.
Okay. First of all, one of the kids' name is Peanut, or I'm mistaken?
That was a nickname. That was a nickname.
Nickname. Well, like, what kind of nickname is that? I thought it was the name, but the nickname is not. Not
That's
good
why you
also.
don't know a lot about black people. That's a nickname. A lot of times black people use that for the smallest baby.
Okay. Well. Okay. Okay. In any case, first of all, I am literally the first person that you said his name in this show today or tonight, if I be accurate.
Right on.
Yeah, what I can say, this stuff is very sad.
Of course.
Yeah, you know, one thing for sure, if you want to prove that that the USA is this century Sodom and Gomorrah, you are getting a good case for it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the USA is they try to, all the other countries don't try to perpetrate like they're not like that. But the US, they try to act like, you know, just like I was reading here on this 2 Timothy, you know, having a form of godliness, but denying its power, right? So they try to act like, you know, this is a godly place, but you don't ever see God's power at work here because these people don't believe in God, right? So that's
why is the US is God's place? What's the reason? What, because of the Mormons?
Why is there God's place?
Yeah, you said it. So it's because of the Mormons or something?
No, they try to pretend like it's God's place. They pretend like that, but it's not. It's not. They try to pretend like everything's fair and square, everything's even, but it's not. But if you don't live here, you don't see the actual undercurrent of what's going on. You don't see that. So you just look at it from like all these people that's running over here to America, they running here because all they know is, you know, I'm gonna get to America, I'll be free, I'll be able to do what I want to do and say, and they think that that's all there is to it, but it's not. It's a lot.
Actually, America is, if I can say, America is, people outside, at least I see it, as the land of opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's a land of opportunity, but there's a lot of stuff that comes with those opportunities, right?
Yeah.
So
Clarence, those, if I may ask, sorry to cut. You know what? Sorry to cut you off. What do you want to say? What did you want to say?
No. Go ahead.
Sometime I have sometime a big mouth.
No. Go ahead, man. What do you want to ask?
In any case,
because we got to get to Bolo and we got to get to Vaughn. So come on, hurry up.
Yeah. In any case, I think first of all, why I missed why exactly she did what she did to her kids, and
You
where's
missed
the
it.
husband in the picture, and where's the rest of the family in the picture?
There
Where's
is
the
no husband.
grandparents?
There is no husband in the picture.
Okay, so where's the grandparents and the cousins?
Listen to me. She has 2 sons from 2 different men.
Okay,
Okay,
so where's the grandparents of her grandparents? I
who
mean,
knows? Who
where's the
knows?
cousin, her cousins?
Who knows? Because these kids were taken away from her earlier, and because she had a drug problem, and she completed some type of program, and the guys gave the kids back. I don't understand that part, but she had been diagnosed with some type of mental illness, so they knew
Oh,
that
really?
to get these kids to her anyway.
Okay. Also, Clarence, you know, about the first example that you gave,
Uh-huh.
the first story, it's
Uh-huh.
also very sad about the woman that blames somebody from your community on something that she
Correct.
didn't do.
Correct.
That's I think that's I need to
But
say.
that happens a lot in that part of the country. It happens a
Okay,
lot there.
you have in terms of statistics, you have when you know what when you say it's got blame, it happened a lot. This you mean a lot of source of blames or this stuff specifically?
Women a lot. No, that stuff, but a lot of blame just in general when it comes to crime, right? Black people are 13% of the population in the country, but they're 50 something percent of the institutionalized prisoners.
Why?
Now listen to me. Listen to me. How can 13% of the population be 50% of the locked up inmates, right? That's off. That's very off. That would lead
Yeah.
you to believe that Black people are committing all of these crimes, right? But in reality, what happens is it's not that the Blacks commit less crimes than whites, who are the majority of the country.
Okay.
Blacks commit less crimes. The reason why Blacks are more in the prisons is because they get prosecuted more. The whites don't get prosecuted to the level to an extent that the Blacks do, because the whites will threaten to get a lawyer and they'll throw a plea deal on them, or they'll throw some kind of deal on them where the stuff will come off their record after a while, right? But the Black people,
Okay.
they put them in the prison. They don't do that to them because they know that most of us don't really know the law like we should, and so
Why you don't know the law?
because we're following. Listen, I'm gonna get into that, but I gotta let Bolo and Vaughn go because I don't know where they're at, especially Bolo. Bolo's all over the city. I don't know what he's doing, so I gotta let these guys go, and we'll come back to that. Vaughn, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Bolo, okay, we'll come back to that.
Hi
Let me,
Bolo, hi Van.
Brother Bolo.
Vagoda, what's up, baby? What's going on, Vagoda?
What's
VB,
going
brother Clarence, what it be like, baby?
What's going on, sir?
What's going on? Now, I might be having some little issues because I just changed some pieces of equipment, so hopefully my mic sounds well.
Yeah, you
you
sound good,
clear,
man.
man. Absolutely clear.
Okay, all right. So I'm doing something good. I'm doing something
Yes,
right.
sir.
What's going on?
Well, I got a question for you, man.
Yes, sir.
Before you
What's your
get
question?
started,
Yes,
do demons exist?
absolutely.
Okay. Well, why would you say that, man? I don't see no demon. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's a good question. You don't see air, but it exists, though, right?
Yeah, explain it to me, man.
I mean, there's a lot of things that exist in the spiritual realm. Right? We
Agreed.
deal with 3 dimensions: length, height, width.
Okay.
That was 3: length, width, height, and width. Yeah, and then you deal with the 4th, which is invisible.
Okay.
And all of these things are powered by something.
Right.
And again, these people that run this, that are in control of the earth, understand that this is not a physical battle. It takes place in the physical realm, but it starts from the spiritual realm, things that we can't see.
Okay.
You know, and again, it comes from thought. You know, all these things. Thought comes from speech. It comes, all of these things that we speak about. All of these thoughts that run through your mind when you think you don't hear something, but you hear it. All of these things are spiritual spirits coming at you. So, you know, you have to be rooted in the Father. You have to be, because again, you know, wow, when I wasn't expecting you to pull me up, but so quick. But I was reading 2 Corinthians, and Paul in chapter 10 speaks of what you're talking about, you know, and you know what he says. I mean, we can read the whole chapter, but I won't. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh." See, this war that we're up against and this war that we deal with, if you're fighting carnally, you're already lost. You're already lost, because again, these thought processes is like what you said. You said you got to talk to these people and find out what their mental history is.
Yeah.
That's spiritual warfare. Because before I start to, you know, before I latch my carriage to you, I want to understand what's going on.
Exactly.
You know? And again, the problem that we have is that people try to use their own discernment opposed to using the discernment of God, right? They use the sight of man opposed to the vision of the Lord, you know. And when you talk about vision is totally different than sight. Sight is just linear, what you can physically see. When you're talking about vision, it goes into the four bodies: mental, spiritual, emotional, physical. It reaches out to information that we might call hunches or thought processes, but this is the Father talking to us in a different way. So it depending on the relationship and how intimate and how obedient you are, right? So when he says that if even though we walk through in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Exactly.
We don't war after carnality. Absolutely, we deal with it. You know, and I don't want no one to think that we don't slip, that we don't fall. We do. However, your main objective is to be a spiritual woman or a spiritual man. Your war, the way you war will be spiritually. It will not be carnally, because if you war carnally, you already lost. So when you're dealing with these men and women, a lot of them, especially if they deal with mental illness, man, if they don't get the help that they need, you know, a lot of people think that, you know, they bring a whole lot of dysfunction, and they think that if they function in their dysfunction, that they're functional, and you're not. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I keep repeating that because, you know, you can heal wrong and think you're healing right. You know, and how you feel affects how you see. How you feel affects how you see. You know, you could be chemically imbalanced and need to get help where it stems to medication and things of this nature. This is why it's so important to get to know the people that are around you, so that when something is off in character, it's not always, you know, drugs or always them just bugging out or whatever. It could be something else, you know, and sometimes it's so minimal. You know, you don't see it unless you know that person. And if you don't know them, you won't catch it. And the body is so dynamic the way the Lord works that a lot of the times, you know, if you're not like a clinically registered psychiatrist or things like nature, there are going to be some things that you don't catch, even in your kids. There are going to be some things that you catch because parents, you know, we don't go to school for it, you know, unless we're surrounded by people, you know. What the body does is it makes the symptoms worse so that you are able to catch it. Now, hopefully you catch it before the symptoms get really bad.
Yeah.
But, you know, it says that you know, our weapons are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds. That's the point, to knowing that these battles are not physical.
Okay, so listen, this is what I want you to do, man. If you got a minute, hang tight.
All right.
Because I want you to break that down. because people
Okay.
hearing you, they listen to you, and they say, "Oh man, he's saying it's a spiritual thing. What does that mean?" And I want you to break that down, man, because a lot of our people, man, they read these religious books, these spiritual books, man, and they read the words. They're unable to make that word manifest their desire or something good in their lives. And I want you to be able to, because they can't connect reading it and then applying it into today's world. So hold tight, man. You got a
No
minute?
doubt. I got a minute, brother.
Okay, thank you, brother. All right, let's get VB in here, and then we go back around to Vagoda, and then Bolo. All
I
right,
can just react real quickly to what he said.
okay,
Okay, I want to say, we don't need demons. There is people that behave worse than demons that we have today, unfortunately. So let's remember that.
okay. Now I'm going. I don't think you. I don't think we're on the same page, Vagoda. But okay, I hear what you're saying, but I think we're on a different we're on a different page. We what we talking about, right? All right, but I'm gonna get back to you, Vagoda. I'm coming right back around to you. Let's get Von Bryan in the mix. Brother Vaughn,
Hey, what's going on, Brother
what's
Clarence?
going on, man? What's your thoughts, man? What's going on?
Well, greetings to everybody on the panel. And,
Greetings to you, brother.
I would definitely say that it's definitely a spiritual warfare, that we're dealing with. Like Brother Bolo said, that, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through God, even to the pulling down of strongholds. And see, that's where the enemy comes in, because when he comes in and he takes charge, whatever that thing is that he's holding you with, it's what we call a stronghold. So we really don't wrestle against flesh and blood, right? But the Bible says, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Right.
So you ask me the question, do demons exist? Yes, they exist.
Okay.
You can't have a Holy Ghost without a demon. You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You can't have this magnificent mammoth God without an adversary, right?
Exactly.
So so this is what we're seeing. I appreciate the fact that Brother Bolo brought up the mental health issue aspect of it.
Right.
And the chemical imbalance of what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Some things are chemical, some things are natural things that we need to contend with and deal with. You see what I'm saying? Along with spiritual, the Bible says first natural and then spiritual. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, we got to get our minds right.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
All right, thank you, Vaughn. Appreciate you, man. Vagoda.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm coming back to you. Now, you had a question about something Bolo has said.
No, I didn't have a question. I said
you said that there's some people out here. Let me see if I understood you. You said that there's some people out here that's worse than demons. Is that correct?
Look, just what I said. I didn't say it as a question. I said some people in the world behave worse than what we depict as demons, unfortunately.
Okay. And so give me an example of what you're talking about.
You want me to give an example? Then people will say that I'm going off topic. But okay. Let's see an example.
I'm asking you to do it, man. It's when you do it when we don't ask you to do it. I'm asking
okay,
you to do
but Annie still is going to be pissed.
Oh,
never mind that.
Come on, Vagoda. What you got, man? What you got? You got an example?
Okay, let's take for example the people that made the 7th of October. That's for a start. If you look, okay, let's take them for a start. Let's for another start take people from the KKK.
What now?
I said let's take for example the people that made the 7th of October.
Oh, the 7th of October.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
take the animals from Gaza, for example. And let's also take the
Okay.
KKK. Okay, let's take them also. What do you want to call them?
Okay.
And they behave worse than demons.
Well, I mean, that's definitely demon activity, right? Would you agree
Yeah,
that
that's
that would be something
activity.
that a demon would lead you to, would lead you to do, especially if it's the KKK or it's people that are doing people wrong, whether it's in Gaza or whether it's in Israel, right?
What did you say?
I'm just saying. So I said that people are doing people, whether their people are doing people wrong, whether it's in Gaza or whether it's in Israel, right? I mean,
Okay.
it's the demon. The demon don't say, "Oh, well, you're Jewish. I'm gonna skip over you and I'm gonna go over here." It doesn't work that way. The demons are looking for anybody open to not obeying God's righteous teaching, right? No matter what we call ourselves, right? Because God just calls us
Yeah,
His children,
everybody.
right? We're the ones that came
There
up with all
is screwy people everywhere in general.
these other names, right? I'm of this. I'm and we base it on where we were born on the planet. I'm a Jew because I'm from Israel. I'm African because my relatives are from Africa. I'm English because my relatives are from England. I'm Scottish, whatever, right? I'm Mexican because my people came from Mexico. Whatever. We base everything on where you were born in the world. But in reality, that don't have nothing to do with God. God don't have nothing to do with none of that. And the devil the same way. The devil will try to mislead people in Israel just like he tried to mislead people in America, just like he tried to mislead people in South America or Canada or Africa or wherever, right? So my point is this, because when asking the question, do demons exist? Obviously, they must exist. If you believe God exists, then you must believe that the devil exists as well, right? So, therefore, if you believe that God
That's
exists,
a
you
very
must believe that the
difficult
angel.
question, and I don't know.
Who is that?
I believe Bolo. I mean, Vagoda has some background noise. I don't know. He may have something playing in the background.
Yeah, man. What you doing? Making bread over there? You washing clothes and making bread at the same time?
What? Noise right now?
Yeah, you did. You for a minute you did. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is these are the last. I'm trying to make it. Yes, you have bad background noise. These are the last days. These are what we call what we were told what we call the last days. This is a point in time where the wicked world that we live in under, that structure we're living under, is going to come to an end. And if you are that far in love with it to chase it to its end, you're not going to see the hereafter. The hereafter is when that world is gone and a new world is here where God is the focus of everybody's everything. But you won't be invited into that if you are embracing this wickedness. So that's the point I'm actually trying to get to. So how do we get out of embracing the wickedness? Well, we got to go to the one that has been telling us since time immemorial how to stay away from the wickedness, which is the God, right? We got to go to God to get this information because they're not teaching in the school system, especially not to our children. And when I say our, I'm specifically talking about inner city children, underprivileged children. They don't really teach how to navigate through, how to think your way through some of these challenges that are devil based, right? And the devil based challenges usually are connected to pleasure. They're usually based on pleasure. Man, They say, get in the car. I had a friend. I'm gonna tell y'all this story. I had a friend, right? I have a friend. She's a very good friend of mine. And she lived right out there in Compton. And so she was telling me that she's so blessed to have her son. She said her son and his friend, they got a ride from these kids that they know. They didn't know them, but they said, hey man, we give y'all a ride home, because they live right around, got right close to each other. So her son got in the car with these dudes. So it's 4 of them in the car. 4 of them in the car. So they said, hey man, you know what? We're going to go on the way home. They said, you know what, man? We're going to go and go by X store, right? And her son said, nah, man, just let me out here. Just let me out of my house. I'm good. I don't need nothing from the store, nothing. Now, little beknownst to my friend's son, they was going to go rob the place. But he didn't know. He just said, hey, I don't want to go by there. I don't really know these knuckleheads. I don't know what they're going to. If they drive past my house, because he's smart. He said, if they drive past my house, who knows when I'm going to get back home. So, hey, drop me off here, right? The boy got in the house. He wasn't in the house an hour before he see on the TV that everybody in the car was dead because they tried to rob the liquor store. A man came out and shot them all in the head. Huh? Now, why am I bringing that story up? Why am I bringing that story up? Huh?
There is still noise.
There's still noise.
Oh boy. Problem in
Maybe you ought to have
phone. Now it's okay?
a little better, but still, we can still hear it, man. It's very disruptive.
Yeah, might want to go out and come back in again.
Yeah, might want to go out and come back in. We'll go to. All right, so why did I bring that story up? I brought that story up because these are the last days. You never know what's going to happen. And we have to use our, like Bolo was talking about earlier, our discernment. We got it. But where we going to get this discernment from? We're going to be like Ron. We're going to go to Home Depot. Hey, you guys got some discernment? Give me a large discernment. Yeah, give me the one way up there. No, you can't go to Home Depot. You can't go to Lowe's.
Yeah.
All right? You saying you can't be.
I don't think you can find it there, Brother Clarence.
Wait a minute, Vaughn. You can't go to Brother Bolo. You can't. Okay, you can't be Brother Bolo and go to Costco. Hey, you guys got any large discernments? I mean, the large ones. All right, you can't get them at Costco.
So the family pack, right?
The family pack. Where we going? I want the family pack of discernment. Right? No. We got to come to the God in sincerity and ask for that discernment, and keep asking and keep asking. And when we know we can continue to keep asking, eventually we get a little here, then we get a little more, then we get a little more, then we get a little more. Next thing you know, we covered a mile, right? Next thing you know, our legs are strong enough to walk with this discernment, right? Now we can carry it with us wherever we go and say, uh-oh, right? I can't go with Brother Clarence to this because Clarence talking crazy. Yeah, Vaughn, hey, let's get in. We going to the club, and then after we go to the club, we're gonna go to the after party, and then after the after party, we gonna go, and then we gonna start throwing those ones. We gonna borrow Vaughn's gun where you can shoot the ones off the balcony, right? Bolo and Vaughn gonna be like, nah, we'll see you in the morning, brother. We'll see you later, right? They're gonna dismiss themselves. Sir. Vaughn, was you gonna say something?
No. I'm listening to you, bro.
Okay. I'm gonna pass it over to Bolo. Pagoda ain't came back yet. I'm gonna pass it over to Bolo because what I want Bolo to do is I want him to break down how, because we say just get hooked up with God, right? Well, let me see if Polo's done. I mean, Pagoda's done. Pagoda.
How is it now? Now you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
much
hear
better.
me?
Much better. Okay, hang tight, Pagoda. Hang tight, because I'm passing the ball over to Bolo. But what I want Bolo to do is I want Bolo to explain, like, why is this a, like Vaughn was saying, it's a spiritual warfare. And what does that mean? What is that? How can I apply that information to being successful? You know what I'm saying? How can I apply that information to being successful in today's wicked world? And how can I access God's power to help me think better, think clearer, live a better life? How can I access that power? That's all. Real simple. No pressure. Come on, man.
Hey, okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, no pressure. That's
pressure.
all. No pressure.
I'll do my best.
You gotta tell everybody how they can actually connect to this God you keep talking about.
Word up.
You can have a friend in the phone if you want, Polo.
My man. First off,
You got your answers.
Thank you, sir. The Lord has the answers. I just try to tap into them.
Right on.
Here's the thing. We talk about it all the time. You and I, VB, Vagoda at times. You got to let go of your ego.
Agreed.
That's basically the main step, is letting go of your ego and your pride, and being retaught to understand God the way He wants to be understood. It's number one. And that's hard to do when you've been raised a certain way all your life, right?
Okay.
And you talk to certain people. I was just at my cousin's barbershop, and I was talking to this young man, 34 years old. He always thought that there was an apple in the Garden of Eden. Before.
Yeah.
I said, "You thought there was an apple?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I know that it was from the knowledge of good and evil, but I think God put it in an apple just as a physical representation." I said, "Did you read that?" He said, "Yeah." So I looked at him, and he got back up a little bit off, how serious he was on it. So I said to him, "Well, let's get it." We went to Genesis chapter 3, and he read it. I said, "Where do you see apple?"
Hamina.
Yeah. Now, here's the beautiful thing about that. That was so evident that, he had to concede. You can't fight that.
Right.
What about things that are not that evident? See, this is where we get into the arguments, and this is where we fight. This is where, we get caught up in the branches opposed to dealing with the root. And the Lord only wants you to deal with the root. Branches are inconsequential because branches are supposed to lead you to the sickness. The symptoms lead you to the sickness if you're looking at the symptoms correct. But a lot of the times when you look at these cats that be on these platforms, they only talk about the symptoms. They only talk about the branches. They never talk about the sickness, the catalyst. Yeah. So talking about the discernment and getting that connection to God is being retaught, understanding that truth is what propels you. And sometimes truth isn't going to be what you want to hear.
Yes.
It just may not. So what does that go into? It goes into trust, right? It starts with belief, goes into faith, then it becomes trust, then confidence, then you're made more than a conqueror. So, we have to understand, and this is, I'm going to try, Brother Kilharens. I'm going to try. You have to understand that the human body is an antenna. If you look at the cell phone, right? Cell phone is based off the human body, right?
Okay.
But again, what they do to us is they dumb us down. They don't want us to think that there's anything outside of us, because then you start to ask why. Then you start to ask when. You know what I'm saying? Then you start to ask all these different questions that if they don't have the answer, you start to go look divinely now. And what this world wants to do is keep you in control, keep you emotional, and keep you not spiritual. They don't want you to be connected spiritually.
Agreed.
To the righteousness of God.
Agreed.
So understanding that we don't live in a world of justice. And you and I spoke about this too, Bro C. We don't live in a world that deals with justice. We deal with a world that's legal. Because for there to be justice, it's the offspring of righteousness. And we know that righteousness doesn't exist here as far as being in abundance. It's not here. The world is not run by justice. It's run by legal laws, legalism.
Okay.
So with that being said, now it comes with the humility. See, all of these things start before you even come. Humility, understanding that it's not about you. And how do you get that? From the experiences that you've had in your life. Remember that time when you could have been murked? And you think that you know now that you're an older man or an older woman, you know it had nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. You know that it didn't have anything to do with you being able to run fast or you being able to fight. You know that there was something out there that guided you out of that situation.
Yes, sir.
That's where that humility starts to come in. Damn, okay. So now you have to realize, like what you said, if you believe that there's a God, or if you believe that there's a higher power, and that higher power is righteous, then there has to be something opposing that, right?
Right, an opposing viewpoint, yes.
It has to be. How do you appreciate light? When there's darkness. How do you appreciate life? When there's death. So these are the things. How do you appreciate? If you know that there's angels, then you got to know that there's demons. Now, whether you want to acknowledge it, like VB said, that's a whole different ball game now.
Right.
Just because I don't think that bullet exists doesn't mean that bullet will hit. Right?
Yeah.
There's many people that get hit by straight bullets.
Right.
They didn't think that bullet was coming, but it came. It had their name on it. Right. So we have to understand that there's something bigger. And even in the thought process of thinking that there's nothing out there besides us, it's egotistical. Yeah. It's based in ego. And so what we need to start understanding that the fundamental catalyst to these things are egotistically driven to think that you can do this without God. So what is the first thing that the Father tells you? Because again, when we get into all of these different things, what do? I kind of compare it, Bro C and VB and Vagoda, to, having that GPS, right? Okay. When you got that GPS, and that GPS is, and you playing music, you are so confident that you're gonna get to where you need to be. You ain't paying attention to the streets. You ain't paying attention to nothing. It tells you, boom, Brother Clarence, make a left at 3rd Street.
Right.
When 3rd Street is going to give you a little reminder, boom, 3rd Street is 500 feet. Now, once that damn that GPS shuts down, you're like, yo, music stop. The kids is talking in your ear. You tell them, yo, be quiet.
Yeah.
You need to focus now because you don't know where you at. And you don't want to be in the wrong territory, especially living in the area that you live in, right? With colors and all different stuff. So that's definitely the confidence and the thought process that you have when you have a relationship with God. When you have him leading you, right? When you have him leading you, you're not using your GPS, you're using his. And this is where that discernment comes from, the relationship and the connectivity that you have, right, to the God network.
Bolo.
Yes, sir.
I hear you. But why do I need a discernment? I was going to ask Vaughn this, but I'm going to ask you right now since I remember. Why do I need discernment in the first place?
Oh, that's a good question, because man's lens can only see so far.
Good point. Okay.
Man's lens can only see so far. You know why you need discernment? When you in court about to get railroaded in child support and she's taking 3/4 of your check, that's why you needed discernment. Okay? You knew that wasn't a check for you, but she was banging. And you thought that you were just that dude. Now you in child support. Now you want to curse her when it was you that did it.
Okay,
So if you would have had discernment,
well, let me see if I put it in words. You can finish, but let me see if I can put it in words. You're saying that the discernment is to help us, to guide us away from situations that might be dangerous for us later on.
absolutely.
Okay.
It's the same way, you know, I said this to my wife yesterday, right? I put my GPS and it took me a whole different route than what I usually do. And I said, I'm going to follow it. You know why? Because when it's in times past, when it told me to go someplace and it wasn't the way that I wanted to go, I ignored it and I run into traffic. And you know what I say? I'm stuck in, there's one time I was stuck in traffic for 4 hours. I just turned around and went back home. Okay. And you know why? It's my fault because it told me where to go. I chose not to. So you know what God said? Okay, go ahead. Let's see how this works for you because you didn't want to listen to discernment. You thought that you knew. Cool. Go ahead. I left my house at 3 o'clock. I got off that road at 7. I just turned back around to go home. So
yeah, hold on. What you think about that NYC traffic now, baby? Yeah.
So discernment is something that's outside of you. You know, we like to call it hunch. We like to call it something in your belly. We like to call it, you know, the woman's intuition, man's intuition, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's something outside of you. It ain't you.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I say that we're, you know, when you look at the cell phone, how does it work? It gets all these different connectivities, right?
Right.
It gets these connectivities. And what happens when the information is being uploaded, it goes to sleep. And then once it's finished uploading, it wakes and it applies whatever was downloaded and uploaded to it. That's how man works. Man is the same way. These things that are uploaded to you subconsciously and subliminally, it goes into you. When you go to sleep, it's now activated in you. This is what you're going to be doing today. This is why the Lord says, don't worry about tomorrow, right? And I'm about to read that. Matthew 6, verse 33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. See, that comes with a whole lot because, you know, just reading that, what does that mean? Humility, sacrifice, patience, right? Understanding, long suffering, all of these things. He's saying, you seek that in me first, and all these things shall be added to you. All of those things that you need to suffice, that needs that sustenance, I'm gonna give it to you. You know, there's a scripture where the Lord says, yo, listen, the birds eat, brother. The birds eat. The worms eat. There's nothing on this earth that don't eat. So what makes you think that I ain't got you?
Right.
What makes you think that? Yeah. So it comes into that relationship that you have, that trust, that confidence. And verse 34 says, take therefore no thought for the morrow. Tomorrow's tomorrow. You may not be there. So don't put too much pressure on tomorrow, right? For the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Whatever tomorrow needs to bring, it's going to bring. It don't need you to waste all of that brain power on what tomorrow is when you have enough things to worry about today. Sufficient unto the day is evil, therefore thereof. So you have to understand that first you have to come to the realization that everyone ain't going to make it. You got to come to that realization that everyone is not going to be saved. The Lord is repetitive. God is repetitive. He's not, you know, time doesn't affect his word because he operates outside of time. We saw that with Noah's Ark, right? 120 years and 7 days, 43,707 days. He had this dude talking to people while he was building a boat.
Right.
And to show you the arrogance, they didn't get a clue when they seen all these animals walking in a line into this boat.
Right.
They didn't sit there and say, I've never seen animals just walk into a boat 2 by 2, 7 by 7. I've never seen that before. Birds too. Something got to be up. They didn't think that.
Nah.
So when he gets into the boat, God closes the ark. Why? Because now you're going to see. And no one can't open the door because he didn't close it.
Right.
This is what it's going to be. You know, so again, you know, we have to understand that there are things that operate spiritually and there are things that operate from the spirit to the physical. Now, again, I can't convince you of it. I can't make you see it. But it's the same way when a doctor comes to you and he says, and there are doctors that don't believe in God, but they'll tell you, I did everything possible. Right. You need to pray to whoever you need to pray to. Right. That he comes through. So they even concede, because man can only go so far. There are things that are outside of our reach. And they'll tell you that. They'll tell you, I can't answer that. Right. But they'll tell you, you need to pray. Why are you telling me to pray if you don't believe in God? If you don't believe that there's something out there, you should believe in your medication, your medicines, right? Your science. So we have to get rid of our ego and think that it starts and stops with us. And I was going to go into this on my channel. You have to understand that there are breakdowns to the 4 parts of the body: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. Okay. You have to understand that when you go into the mental, the spiritual operates, and this is what scientists say, operates at least 10 to 6 feet outside of your body. How do you walk up to someone and you just know something ain't right about them? That has nothing to do with the physical, my G. The physical is touch, taste, see, hear, feel. It's physical. But that physical information has to be translated into something that you can understand, because all of those things that you feel are just neurons and electric connections. That's all they are. That's all they are. When you feel pain, when you break it down to its lowest compound, all it is a connection, because your brain doesn't feel pain. You do know that, right? Right. Your brain doesn't feel pain, but it takes this information and breaks it down. Where does it get the information from? This is where these other portions of the body comes in. But what they try to do is dumb us down and think it's just in physical, right? This is why they over-sexualize us. They want to keep us dumbed down to just the physical attributes of what this world has to offer.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me come back to that, Bolo. Let me come back, because I want you right there, because I want you to explain this stuff. Because a lot of people think, man, they talking about the Bible, they talking about the word, talking about God. Man, I could never get a fix on it. I could never get a read on it. But I want us to talk plain, man, so we can explain it to these people. That way they can't say, well, I didn't know. Nah, you listen, let's talk about Better Black Life. And we had 3 or 4 brothers on there, man, and they was just breaking it down. So you can't say that. So you can take, or one of them might be motivated, say, I'm going to try what Bolo said. I listen to Bolo a lot, but I ain't never really put it into words. Let me try it this time, right? Or I listen to Vaughn. Let me try it this time. And speaking of that, so hold tight right there, Bolo, because I want you to explain that. Vaughn.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brother Vaughn. Now, I'm asking, do demons exist? I think we all agree. Maybe Vagoda's kind of shaking, but maybe Vagoda's on the fence about it. But the rest of us, most of us, about demons. But anyway, let me pass it over to Vaughn. So Vaughn,
Lawrence, if you want to see demons, you are more than welcome to visit Gaza, or not.
Wow.
No, I don't need to visit Gaza. I'm right here in Compton, right here in Los Angeles, right here in Watts. I see demons a lot. So I've seen a lot of demons. I live in America, so I've seen a lot of demon activity. But Vaughn, I want to ask you the question, because I need to just have Bolo do a couple of shows on this stuff, but because I really want the people to be able to just pick up what we're saying and just go run with it. Since we, let me ask you the question, Vaughn. Since we all agree that demons exist, most of us, why do we need God involved in our lives?
Wow, that's a pretty good question. Well, definitely when we're coming up against any type of force that is evil, we need someone who is higher than we are.
Agreed.
to help us through those situations. You know what I'm saying? Like we oftentimes say, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. If God be for me, then who is the devil to be against me? You see what I'm saying? So he's not definitely given us the spirit of fear, but of love and of power.
Yes.
You see, we have the power to tread upon serpents. You see what I'm saying? We have the power to put the enemy under our feet, but we have this power through God. And if we think that we can withstand this crazy devil without the Holy Ghost, then we have a problem. Houston, we definitely have a problem.
Oh man. Thank you, Vaughn. Yeah, because I want us to get to its real simplest, break it down to its very last compound. Okay, we'll go to you next, but we're gonna watch a little bit more of this thing on Tiffiny Lucus. Hold tight, gang. Hold tight.
I actually interviewed Bullitt County Sheriff's Office Chief Deputy Colonel Alex Payne when this first happened. And he didn't know all the details, but he told me something very chilling.
Introducing. I can tell you that the boys were shot in an area that would not be survivable for anybody. However, they were alive, to the best of our knowledge, when they were transported by EMS to the hospital, and passed away while at the hospital.
The last time we saw Miss Lucas was in January for her arraignment, where she entered a not guilty plea to 2 counts of capital murder. The judge wanted to know then if she had counsel.
Ma'am, you are before the court for arraignment. Do you have an attorney to represent?
No.
Do you wish to apply for appointment as an attorney?
Sure. Yes. Yes, sir.
Really, really disturbing story. World is a frightening place at times. How do you even protect yourself? That includes, by the way, if you get hurt, which is one of the scariest things that can happen, comes out of nowhere. Well, if that's the case, there is something you can do, and that is be prepared with the right legal team. Let me talk to you today. So Lucas, wearing shackles and in her orange jail garb, was flanked by 2 lawyers who answered the judge's questions about scheduling and seemingly needing more time. And I warn you, it is a bit hard to hear the judge. You can hear the attorney pretty well, though.
Commonwealth versus Tiffiny Lucus, 23 CR 404.
All right, so basically, y'all, they're trying to set up a plea for this chick. The families wanted her to get death, and the lawyers are trying to get her life with no parole. So it's not a question of whether she did it. She already admitted to doing it. So it's not a question of whether did she do this or did she not do that. That's not the issue. All right. Pagoda.
Yes, Clarence.
Okay. What is your take on how, or do you have do you think that there's a way where we could, some of us that have fall prey to these demons can unlock or release ourselves from these demons? Do you have a opinion on that?
I don't think that there is literally demons, so I don't have much to say about that. I see that there is still noises, huh?
Yes, from you.
Maybe there's a demon in my phone.
There may be so.
Take the demon and take the phone to a lab to extract the demon.
Well, something's going on.
I will say something seriously.
Yeah,
I see that many are a little angry from something I said. So, Annie, I want to remind you, it's all a joke. I'm all joking. Okay, don't take what I say seriously. Okay.
I never do. But,
yeah, but she, from what I see in the comments, she took it a little bit too seriously.
No. I just want you to understand that, like, see, like, you're joking about some of the stuff that's happening here, right? That'd be like me joking about some of the stuff that's happening over there, right?
Wait a minute. I'm not. I didn't joke about stuff. Clarence, I didn't joke about stuff that's happening in the USA.
Listen, Vagoda. I know you don't mean any harm, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I could be joking about things over there that I wouldn't realize that would be hurtful to somebody that's actually living in the situation, right? So that's I just try to make sure that you understand what the situation is. That's all. I'm not trying to say you're trying to be a bad person. Most of us
Okay, I just said I didn't, but I didn't joke on anything that you showed today or in general.
Well, I don't know if you're joking or not, but I just try to explain so you have better understanding. And the only reason why I do that, Vagoda, is because I know you don't live here, and so you might not recognize, some of the stuff that we're talking about, and so that's why I try to enlighten you a little bit more about it. That's all.
You know, Clarence, like you said, you should do. We can talk we can talk in closed doors, like I said, or
Yeah. I'm going to get to that. I've been sick. I got a lot going on, man. So we'll get there. We will eventually get there.
Yeah, but I have a little theory about. You said that there is a lot of crimes in your community, or at least that's what the data said. I have a little theory about it. Okay, you want to hear it? Clarence, do you hear me? Somebody home?
Well, apparently something happened to Brother Clarence. Hey, Brother Pagoda, if you can put yourself on mute, you're not.
I was on mute?
No, if you're not, and you just put yourself on mute. Like I'm talking right now. So if you go on mute, because we're having a problem when someone else speaks, your phone is making a lot of different noises. So if you go on mute, you see what I'm saying? When you're not speaking, that would help the stream be a little more understanding.
That's what I did. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. So where were we at? Okay, so you got to put it on mute because now I'm speaking. So where were we at in the conversation?
We was at being able to articulate.
That's where we were in the conversation.
You got to go on mute, brother Vagoda.
Sorry,
Brother Vagoda, please. Bolo is going to speak now, okay? So I'm going to kind of moderate this situation, but you have to go on mute if you're not talking. And please don't talk while someone else is talking, because now we'll really be confused. So go ahead, Brother Bolo.
Yeah, we were in, being able to articulate and explain to the people. He wanted a really easy breakdown to, give someone what demons are, where they might come from, where they exist, if they exist, things of that nature. Because as believers, there are certain communications that we all have that we understand what they mean. And what Brother Clarence was explaining, that there are some people that are not believers at this moment, are searching, and can we give them conversation outside of the norm of what we're used to having, so that they can be on the same page as us and understand that there are things outside of human comprehension, right? There are just things that we just don't get and things we don't understand, and the crazy thing about that, VB, is, certain people are I don't know if you want to say blessed, but certain people are blessed or cursed, whichever way you look at it, depending on the perspective you're looking at it from, to be able to see these things in action.
Yeah.
And to be able to testify, to say that these things exist. Now, again, if you live your life carnally, then it is impossible for you to see. Right? How can I show or describe to a blind man the most beautiful sunset that I've ever seen? I can't. The description doesn't give words to what I am beholding. You know what I'm saying? So to try and explain it to them, I could do it as best as I can, but they're still not going to be able to witness. They're still not going to be able to feel. They're still not going to be able to understand in its entirety what's given. You know, it's kind of sort of like what we go through in life. You know, there are plenty of things my mother and dad taught me, and it stayed locked in, you know, your mental Rolodex. And it's not until you go through something in life that kind of correlates to what they taught you that now you can bring some correlation to the two.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like the natural man, it has an issue with understanding the things of God because they are foolish to him.
Right.
And that's what we have to understand. You see, you know, without faith, it's impossible to believe God, you know, and in order for you to have that type of faith, you have to first believe that he is. So definitely, I agree with what you're saying.
I think it's you know, a person comes to a crossroads, you know, they come to a crossroads and say, listen, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? What the hell was that?
Yeah.
You know, and they may not connect it to God at that moment. What they need to come to the realization, because again, the spiritual man and the carnal man, they both occupy the same space. Okay.
Exactly.
They both occupy the same space. The problem between the spiritual man and the carnal man is the connection. We have to establish a connection. We have to establish who's going to run who. Will it be the spiritual man that runs the physical man, or the physical man that runs the spiritual man? Which basically means that the physical will never tap into the spiritual. It'll continue to move carnally. So there has to be something that happens that bridges those two bodies together. For you to say, something happened, bro. I don't know what the hell that was. I mean, you've seen it in Pulp Fiction when Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta, when they go to get the package from the little kid that stole it from Marcellus Wallace. And he's like, yo, where's the package at? And he's like, yeah, that lo and behold, they don't know that there's somebody in the bathroom with a hand cannon from the quote of John Travolta. He comes out and just shoots bang, 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 and misses them. For all intents and purposes, they should be dead. I don't think they were more than 10 feet away. They should be dead. So you see the carnal man and the spiritual man at variance right there.
Exactly.
After they do what they do, Samuel L. says, yo, did you just see that? He says, a miracle. He said, I didn't see a miracle. I just saw a dude with bad aim. So the carnal man is always going to make some type of ridicule towards what is the truth. See, truth comes in many shapes, sizes, and forms, but it's the truth. The truth sometimes would allow you to breathe on it, meaning, you know, when the truth comes to you, at times it doesn't come full surface, right? It might just punch you in the stomach because it may take you a minute to understand what you're seeing, what you're beholding. It may take you a minute to get that. So it doesn't give you too much. Because if it gives you too much, you're just going to regurgitate it out. You're just going to vomit it up, right? Till the weak I become weak. So he says that the miracle in it is the effect that it has on that person in whom it was meant for. So maybe that miracle wasn't meant for John Travolta, because through the whole movie, Samuel L. is like, man, I'm done with this. I'm not no longer going to be a hitman. I'm changing my life. I'm done. And in the long run, you see how it changed his life, because John Travolta wound up getting murked because he continued down that lifestyle. So you see the different paths that they took when you look at this movie through the lens of God, opposed to looking at it as just purely entertainment, even though it was a good movie. Yeah. But again, when you're a believer, you filter everything through the lens of the Father.
Well, let's break it down this way, Brother Bolo. And And I'm sure you can expound on this aspect of it, because we had Brother Vagoda up here, and basically he was pretty much saying that well, he really didn't believe in demonic activity. But when we look in the book of Mark, the 5th chapter, and around the 6th verse through 13, we see the situation of a young man who's found in the tombs, and he's scratching himself and he's cutting himself. He has an issue. You see what I'm saying? He was overtaken by an evil spirit, right? And so now here comes Jesus. So can you break that aspect down? And this is why, as a believer, I believe in demons, because there are accounts where Jesus actually dealt with demons. So
Right.
could you just break that, paraphrase that down for us?
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Well, where we at? Mark 5, you said?
I believe it's Mark chapter 5, verse 6 through 13, I believe it is.
6 through 13. Hold on.
Yeah, Brother Clarence, I'm glad you're back. Are you able to put this on the screen? Mark chapter 5, verse 6 through 13.
Let me see, man. Let me see.
And then I would love to hear Brother Bolo expound on that. And Sister
Can we?
Elaine, God bless you.
Can we let? Excuse me. Can we let Sister Annie get in here for just a minute before we go to what? What'd you say now? What was the verse?
Mark 5.
It's Mark 5, verses 6. Actually, the first verse. Just start from the first verse so we can understand it. So let's not even break it down that way, but just read from the first verse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark
Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's going on?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Sister Annie. I'm
Okay. I thought you were going to read it. A couple of things. One, I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is not the one that I need to come up on, because this one was rough, even just to hear the title. I didn't know about the case with Tiffiny Lucus. And I saw somebody earlier in the chat had said something about the father wasn't given support or something like that. And I guess what I would say, just in my first thoughts, first of all, when the stuff happened with Susan Smith years ago, y'all would have thought I didn't have any kind of faith or religion in myself, because the stuff that I wanted them to do to her, it was not nice. But I think that, like, to what we're talking about now, just spiritually, like getting to the root of things. Like, it will be easy to say, to someone's point in the chat, if that mother was getting some support, it would be easy to say, to get mental health. And I'm not saying, I don't want to take away from saying that those things are needed. But even if you went to counseling, if a person went through or had mental health issues and they went to counseling, do you still, after they've gone through the counseling and it looks like they are growing in that support, do they still deserve the right to have their child back? Or if they were struggling with something, do they deserve to have their child back? And then, because people say a lot, you want to make sure that the child, as much as possible, can be with the mother and the father, even if they're not together, that they would be able to spend time. But like certain things that may trigger people to go back, and even people that may not have had diagnosed mental issues, they could still, in certain situations, not behave in a way that's the healthiest for themselves, for their children. So that's why it is so important to come back to the word. It is important to rely on God. It is important that we have resources and people that are there for us, that we can be transparent in some places that to other people, they don't necessarily always give us grace and forgiveness on, because like if a mom came up to me and said, hey, I'm just not able to just love on my child, like say after school, I can't deal with this, am I open to opening my home so that I can maybe, at least for that summer, or at least for a week, give her just a minute to just readjust herself, just to breathe a little bit in the space that she needs that would be healthiest for her, which would then benefit the child. So I would just say for all of us, where we see places where men or women seem to be, it just the heaviness of their responsibilities, that they just don't have they're not on solid footing, where you can do what you can. It may not be to open up your home. It could just be, hey, I can take them to the park. Or it could be a man in that situation. And I'm not blaming that man for the actions that she did. Those were her actions. But maybe one of his friends, maybe his family members can say, hey, listen, she needs some help. Do what you can, or help her as much as you can. So in places where we can help people, I want us to help people. I want to say something real quick to you, Vagoda. One, please try not to decide for me what I feel about what you're saying to me, okay, or what you have said. I am not upset with you when you deviate, but I also think that just for the fairness of this conversation, and there's some conversations where we kind of like shift and go off, but like when you came in, the first thing you said was something about the nickname Peanut. Now, I'll admit that for me, with this topic, that I said, whoa, wait a second. That is so irrelevant to the point. But I know that that's me because of how strongly I feel about children, their innocence, and advocating for them. So because of that, I know that I didn't, there's no way that I would comment to you based on how I actually felt about that statement. But I did think that you should stay on topic, because your track record has been that sometimes you deviate from topic. So so I don't have any issue with you. I just
know it. You say I know. I just say it as a joke. Relax.
No, but you do. See, now I want to get off topic, but see, that's what sometimes people do too. They say something and they mean it. And then when the person comes back and says, okay, let me address this thing that you said, now you were joking. So all I'm saying is, I wouldn't have a kitty cat smiley face if I really had an issue with anything. So,
okay, I just saw you in the comments screaming Vigoda.
Yeah, and I meant that. But like I said, the reason why I said that was because you came up, and the first thing that you said about this heavy topic was, wait, somebody named their child Peanut. So I said
yes, but
I
want to understand. I said it because because that's in my eyes, it's not normal that you name a child Peanuts, because that's could be a clue already that this woman is messed up. It's like I will call my son a blanket or something like this.
You
like
can, and Michael Jackson did that. But but what I'm saying is, in the same way that to you that seems not normal, I might say it doesn't seem normal that a person would be talking about a mother taking the life of her two children, that the first comment would be to address a nickname, or if that's what she decided the name to be, because regardless of what that child's name was, that child's life was taken. That mother, for whatever reason in that time, did something that
I get your point.
Yeah, so that's all I'll say. But
yeah, but I just look for. It got my eye because it was, like I said, it's a clue that she is already messed up. That people would needed to get the people needed to catch on that close to her. It's a shame that they didn't catch on that already that there is messed up stuff in there.
Well, I would just say, and then I'll shift it over. Somebody saying Peanut, like I've had some nicknames that I've had in relationships, and somebody would think the man that I was with, that he was Looney Tune because of some of the nicknames he called me. So I think that
but I'm not. But let me correct you, my girl.
If you don't mind, just let me so I can finish.
Okay,
what
sorry.
I'm saying is, and for you, if your gauge for believing that a person has mental challenges, that they nickname their child or their spouse or their mate, that they say Peanut, if that to you would be a sign that a person has mental challenges, that's your That's what you would use. For me, that would not be a sign to me that a person has mental issues. To me, or not even just mental issues, that they have stresses that are so heavy that they have boxed
Yes, but
themselves
you
in
missed
a
my
corner.
point.
I don't, maybe I muted or something. But what
Yes.
I'm saying is like I don't know if you've ever seen because I sometimes would used to watch these shows like where it would talk about like animals that were not taken very they weren't taken care of by their owners, and these dogs that either have been not fed or been abused and things like that. When the people like from the animal protection, whatever that agency is called, when they would come to try to retrieve the dog so that they can get them in a facility where they could take care of them, the dog would just sit and bark and shrivel or just wouldn't want to be touched. That's because all the attention that they had ever received was negative, so it would be challenging for them to receive anything positive. So all I'm saying is that, and I want to get back onto the topic, because those things to me, like sometimes our behavior is demonic behavior and that
Yes.
spirit. And I can't even say honestly, y'all, because in my life, I probably have had some demonic thoughts, not
All of
proud
us.
of
We
them, but
all
what I
do.
have to do is
But
like
Annie,
pray.
I want to
Okay, go
just
ahead.
jump for a moment to say, when I said why she called our son Peanuts, I thought that this is his first name, not a nickname. Okay.
Even if his first name was Peanut,
I
I'm
explained that
saying,
to you, Pagoda.
yeah, even
Okay,
if,
that could be
like
a
I
kind
said,
of
if that's your,
company that the woman is
I'm not,
not.
I'm not trying to challenge your thought, right? So, like, your thought is, if someone named their name Peanut,
Okay.
I'm saying my position is still the same. If if the parents named their child Peanut, somebody might say, "Wait, you name your child Moses? You name your child Job? You name your child?" Like there could be a lot of different names that people, when they hear them, they're like, "Hey, why'd you name your child that?" That's the name that the person chose for their child. But like I said, that's your gauge for what you would deem to be, if you saw a woman, or because it's not just a woman naming it, but the parents name their child this name, that to you, that's a sign that there's an issue. What I'm saying is, for me, that would not be a sign. And I would want to make sure that I'm paying attention to more visible. I would want to pay more attention to other things that might be a sign to me that someone may be screaming out for help, or doesn't their pride may be in the way that they may not ask for help. They're so ashamed that they're at this point. Some people may not even realize, and I'm saying even for myself, some decisions that I have made, in the moment that I made them, I didn't realize that they were not the best decision. They were the best of what I had then. Thank God for the people in my life that would intercede and would be there, that would say to me, "Hey, you were kind of off on that one," or, "Hey, when you made that decision, if you had done this right here, do you think that you would have still had that same outcome?" So that's my only point. I'm not trying to change your position in that. I'm just saying that that's not a position that I feel you could try to place on everyone else, that if we saw the same thing, that's what we should decide is the same thing that you conclude. That's all.
Okay. I just look. I'm not trying to put anything on anyone. Okay. I just looked for clues on signs and what's that is that that I just looked for signs that this woman is messed up, and that she called her son Peanuts. That's the only thing that sticks in my head, for me at least. Okay, that's all. Just look for clues.
All right. I think we got where you're coming from, Pagoda. All right. I just want to address one thing since he was talking about. Okay, so me and my son, we're dealing with that right now. The mother has mental illness. Okay.
Sorry to hear.
Yeah. No problem. So my granddaughter's mother has some mental illness, and we didn't find out until things got dusty. She was able to hide it as long as, you know, things were working out the way she wanted them to work out. And when it started not working out the way she wanted to work out, like she would always threaten my son when she got mad. I'm leaving, right? They had an apartment. My son had an apartment right across the street from me. She would say, I'm
What
leaving.
exactly she has?
Huh?
What exactly she has?
What has she has?
Yes, in terms of what illness she has.
Oh, what illness? I think it's bipolar and something else.
Oh,
But my son did, well, my son knew about it, but because she was not acting out of sorts because everything was going the way she wanted it to go. Once my granddaughter came and that pressure hit them and they had their own place because they were living with me for a while, right? I said, hey, look, if you guys just go to school, I'll pay for everything. Just go to school and you can live here with me rent free. And they didn't want that. They wanted to get their own place. And I really, to be honest, I really wanted my oldest boy out. He's the rank leader. He's the cult leader, right? If anything's going wrong, I can guarantee you it will lead all the way back to him, right? So I wanted him out anyway. So when the place came available, he came running across the street to me, Dad, the place is available. I said, okay, good. He said, but I don't have no money. I said, okay. And he said, and you guys know what that means. Well, you know what's coming after that. So I said, okay, you have no money. And he said, yeah, they only want $3,000. But now me wanting my son out that house, I said, hey, is that all? I'll be back. You sit tight here. I'll go get the cash, right? So I went and got the cash so he could put the deposit and everything down on the place, right? That's like, hey, man, praise be to God. That's all they want. Hey, $3,000 to get rid of my problem. So him and his girlfriend and his daughter that were all living with me, they moved across the street, got their own place. Now, when they had my wife watching the baby 24/7, they could come home from work and just go and lay down in their room, right? That was no problem. Now they got their own place. They got to work out. Well, my wife was still watching the baby while they went to work. Both of them was working at SpaceX at the time. And so good jobs. And she quit, and then she convinced my son to quit. Anyway, this girl is just a mess. So anyway, but at the time we were helping out, you know, but when my son said, hey, I don't want my mom to, because even when they got their own place, the girl would just walk right past our house and go into, you know, go home and go get in the bed, right? So my son started saying, hey, when you get off, you got to go pick the baby up. So they started doing that. And the more that pressure hit them, that's when she started acting out and threatening to leave all the time. So one time she finally left. She said, I'm going to be with my mom, you know, threatening to leave. He said, okay, go ahead. And she thought he was going to be like, in a couple of days, calling her back like he normally did. He didn't do that. So she been out that house since she did that. Now, that's when we start seeing all this mental illness happening, because she was threatening to come back there and take the baby and did this. And she even took the baby for three months. She's the reason why we even got in the court, because they were just, everything was cool. You know, she visited, and then my son would visit. Everybody was doing the 1 week. She's the one we had to go to court because she took the baby and kept it, because she got mad because my son said she couldn't have her on one of his days. Fast forward, what I'm trying to say is my son saw it, but he couldn't really see it, because most of the time those kind of people, they know how to hide it. They know how to hide it. They know how to mingle with people and make it seem like they don't have an issue. But the more pressure gets applied to them, that's when, what they say, pressure bust pipes. That's when the facade starts crumbling. And this girl started doing all kind of stuff. And we had to go and take the baby. She was doing drugs and smoking in the car with the baby. We had to do all kind of stuff, you know, go back to court and go back to court and go back. Still got to go back to court.
oh my God.
Yes. But my point is, if my son had picked up on this earlier, we probably wouldn't be here, but then I wouldn't have my baby.
That discernment, right?
Yeah.
That discernment that we were speaking about. Exactly.
But he finally got it though. See, because I kept being in his ear. I said, you really want to deal with somebody like this? I kept getting in his ear, right? You know, because I was like, man, come on, what you doing? You going back and forth with this thing? Oh man, come on, man. I said, you got your mom right here. You can go to work all day long and she'll watch that baby. Right? She ain't asking you for a penny. If my wife could have got, my son ain't got enough money and never gonna have enough money in 50 years to pay my wife for what she did, keeping that baby, man. Just them 6 years she did it, right? But my point is, I'm not trying to say, because sometimes when I say this stuff about people having mental illness, people will get the idea, the impression that I'm saying we got to shun the mental illness. I'm not saying let's shun them. I'm saying we got to be very particular about who we get in relationships today. And that relates to the environment that we have now, which is the environment of wickedness that most people are, if they're either aware or even if they're unaware that they operate in this environment like this, right? So they don't even know, they don't even know. And then, you know, they won't even find out because that they have some type of Sister Eddie, you crazy. They won't even find out that they have some type of illness or affliction or secret desire, hidden desire, until the pressure is applied to them. So we don't want to be there when that happens, or if we are there, we have to make a decision about ourselves and our children, especially got children involved, man. Can't be playing around, man, because when children see wickedness is approved, when children see wickedness is approved by their caregivers, they no longer have a boundary. There's no boundary line then for them for wicked behavior. They feel like, hey, you okay with me with cussing and drinking and this and that, whatever they're doing. They dissolve all boundaries between righteousness and unrighteousness, and they get consumed by the wickedness. I'm just going on and on and on, but basically the point I want to make is we're dealing with that, what you were talking about, Sister Annie, right now, where you have somebody that has previous drug issues, previous mental, has been diagnosed with mental illness, and we're dealing with somebody like that that's trying to step right in, where like she'll say, I'll be there she's supposed to make phone calls and stuff because she's supposed to work her way back up to having unsupervised visits, but she won't even do it. And then she just wants to just take the baby away. She forgot that she took my baby and kept her for 3 months. I'm always telling my son, why are you even considering that? Let her work her way back up like we had to. Right? But anyway, all that being said, let's get into what we reading on. We're reading Mark 5.
I can say something before I will have too much problems in my phone. I need to go to sleep, so I want to say good night to all of you. What else I want to say? Clarence. Also, if you want to talk, well, we can talk in the mail about that.
We're gonna do a show just me and you.
Okay, but in any case, I'm going to sleep. Also, tomorrow I have something big tomorrow. So you know what? Next time that you will see me, I will put it in the live chat.
Okay.
In any case, have a wonderful night.
Okay, man. Be careful, Vakoda out there. All right, that was Vakoda, right? As usual, Sister Eddie ran somebody else out of here again, as always, right? As always.
You gonna put that on Sister Ene like that. You ain't right, Brother Clarence. You ain't right at all.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Nah, I think she was just trying to clear something up, but he didn't have an ear for it at the time, man. He just didn't. Yeah. He just couldn't have it. He couldn't have it. So all right, so let's y'all, because now we got the home team here. So let's go through this Mark 5 and see what's up. Now, where we going? Where we starting at, Vaughn?
Well, earlier I suggested that, we can peruse through it, but I just wanted Bolo to kind of open it up and just kind of, give us that, not paraphrase, but, break it down, because
Yeah, I'm the great paraphraser.
Exactly. This is definitely a count that Jesus encountered. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Right.
we would be remiss if we said that there's not demonic activities.
Well, we can't be remiss then.
and exactly, and then you can also do a study on demonology, which I ain't too keen on it, but but there are ranks to demons and different things like that. When you get into that, and you can understand that different demons have different ranks. You see what I'm saying? So they're basically like the military. You see what I'm saying? You have a corporal, you have a captain, you have a this and a that.
They got like a structure. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So Bolo, let's read it, but let's read all the way through it real quickly. And then maybe Bolo can just kind of break it down quickly for us.
This is what I'll say before we start. What I'll say before we start is you have to be mindful when you open up those books.
Oh, exactly.
When you start going into the different
demonology
understandings of where the spirits are and what levels there are, because when the Lord tells you principalities, he's speaking, like Vaughn said, about the different order of demons, and there are orders, especially when you do it, right? Like you have cherubims and seraphims, and then you have archangels. The cherubim and seraphims are the ones that's the closest to God.
Okay.
Closer. So, and a lot of people don't know that there's different rankings. So you have to be careful, because when you open up these books, man, you're opening up yourself to certain things that the Lord just don't want you to know.
Okay.
They want you to have that information, so be careful with those books that you read when you do those things.
Exactly.
All right. So I'm gonna read, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna read. Let me get where we got. Here we go.
Brother
Jesus.
Clarence,
What?
Brother Clarence, just simply read through it, and then we can discuss it, because I know you don't want to be on that long. So if you could just read through it, and then we can, because we're all familiar with this passage.
All right, I'm gonna do my best. This is,
but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So however you want to go about, I got you.
All right, Great Pill. You're gonna have to hang on for just a minute, man. We got to go through this word. We got to go through this word.
I'm here for it.
We got Mark 5, and here we go. Jesus restores a demon-possessed man. How many of y'all know a demon-possessed man or woman? Anyway,
there's two of them on this platform. No, I'm just kidding.
They went across the lake to the region of Gerasenes, and when Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit, I mean, y'all know somebody with an impure spirit, came from the tombs to meet him. He came from the tombs. Where he was just doing bad, man. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, right? So they don't put him out into the tomb. Hey, you can't live here. You can't even live here with us no more, man. You got to get out of here. Not even with the chain. Damn. For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. How many godly people that have, God gave them, that their spirit has had the chains of righteousness on them, so they're not supposed to do certain things, but they tore those chains off. They broke the irons on it. They ain't supposed to go somewhere and meet some little boy or meet some little girl, but they tore the irons off their feet. No one is strong enough to subdue him. No one. Okay. Night and day among the tombs and in the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." So who's saying don't torture me? The man or the spirit? Okay, let's get to it.
The Spirit is saying it.
Let's get to it.
But,
See, you
but let's slow it down. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's slow it down. So,
okay.
First verse, we have to understand the what's happening, right? Christ and the 12 are running from the crowds and they're getting onto the western side of the Sea of Galilee. So that's where they're at, and they landed at a place called Decapolis, which is called the 10 cities, right? Which is Gardenians, what we just read. In the New International Version, that's what it's called. It's called Gerasenes. But if you look at the King James, it's Gadarenes. Okay. So they pull up on this place. So there's a reason why they give you the description of this man lived in the tombs and no one could bind him anymore, because they did bind him at one point. But as he got stronger, he became unruly. But there's a reason why, one of the reasons why he lived in the tombs is because he's left alone. There's nobody there, right? No one there to minister unto him. He's left alone, where he's left to his own devices. So as it reads on, as for he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons off feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. And when he saw Jesus, now this is the man, when he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him and shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High? In God's name, do not torture me." For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." So it's the spirits talking to Christ. Okay. So now, when we read verse 7, it's very important. Verse 7. And it says, I hate reading the International Version, but I'll read it with you guys. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus?" This is the demon talking to him. So the Son of the Most High, God, is God's name. Don't torture me. Do you know the significance in that? Anybody?
No.
Well, because that spirit knew that God was more powerful than he was.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait.
However, go ahead, Anae.
Sorry. So wait, the demon in him is speaking to Jesus.
Correct.
And then he says, "Don't torment me," because the demon recognizes the demon sees that the only thing or person that can destroy him would be God.
Okay, that's a good start. You're almost there, both of you. But one, Christ never tormented him. It's number one. So he was lying there. Okay. Secondly, when he says, "Son of the Most High God, in God's name, don't torture me." What was he doing there?
He worshiped God.
Well, let me ask you a question, Bolo. Should I be on the King James Version or the New International?
If you go to the new, we read the new King James Version. It's easier.
Okay.
The King James Version is a lot harder to understand, so we stick with the new King James Version.
There we go. I got it up there. Okay.
Yeah, that's not a bad translation.
You know what I'm saying? So when we read verse 7, and he says, "And he cried out with a loud voice and said, What have I to do with you, Jesus? Why am I here? Why are we talking to each other, man? Why are we beefing, man? I got nothing to do with you. Nothing." But he already knows that Christ is going to shut him down. He already knows that.
Exactly.
So what does he say? "Son of the Most High God, I implore you by God that you do not tempt me or torment me." Why did he say that?
That's a good question, man, because I never heard of Jesus tormenting anybody.
I believe because that spirit was very comfortable with where it was, and it didn't want to leave that being.
Maybe that's it. Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, there's other reasons we can
look on nobody's paper right now, because ain't nobody seen
it. Because when those spirits infiltrate, they get very comfortable in that vessel that they're in.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so he's speaking to the very God.
Right.
Oh, I beg you.
Right.
I beg you.
That it
Yeah.
sounds like that. It sounds like that, but that's
Yeah.
not what he's saying.
Okay, so go ahead. I'm listening.
Now you want to give a shot?
Okay. All right, last chance. I'm gonna try. Okay.
Go ahead.
This it's I don't know. I don't like this pop quiz. I don't know. I can't even make my brain wrap around this because I thought what I was saying earlier from what I'm reading, it looks like that's what it is. But if you're saying that thou torment me not.
Right, because remember, Christ never tormented him. Christ didn't torment him. The man ran up to Christ. Christ never tormented him. But he knew that beef was going to happen. You automatically know that.
On and popping.
I think that he was already tormenting just by the presence of God.
Absolutely. That's the point. That's a very good point. However, what he's doing here, let's get Great Pill. Great Pill, you want to take a shot at it?
Yeah, Great Pill.
I'm going to be honest and say no. I know my lane, man. I know my lane. I listen to learn and learn to listen.
All right. So what he's trying to do here is he's trying to force Christ into making a deal.
What?
Okay.
That's what he's doing. Let me explain to you why. Okay. It's the same way if I say, yo, Ane, check this out. All right. I need that $5. Okay. On your mama, you're going to give me that $5, right?
What? Wait.
You didn't understand the example?
Excuse me. I am not giving you that $5.
In other words, he's trying to get Christ to make an oath to him that he's not going to do what he's going to do.
Okay.
So that's what he's saying to him. And he says, what have I to do with you, Jesus? I ain't do nothing to you. What I got to do with you? Son of the Most High God, I implore you. I'm begging you. By God,
mind your business.
You do not torment me.
Mind your business.
Father, I need you to make an oath that you're not going to torment, that you're not going to punish me. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
So what he's trying to do is get Christ to swear on God that he's not going to do what he's going to do. Do you see that?
Yeah, because you know what? I think you're right, because he acknowledged him as who, he didn't try to play him. He acknowledged who he was.
Right.
So he's like, I'm giving you this, I'm gonna give you your props.
Right.
Just please don't, just mind your business.
But I don't want you to just mind your business. I want you to put it on God. You ain't gonna mind your business.
Is that like wait, bro, is that like with Job, where he said, well, I know you're gonna put your hand on this, because you're not gonna just let me have him. So he's saying here, like, okay, I'm getting it. Okay, go ahead. Okay, I'm getting it.
Here's what he's saying. He's saying it like
shout out to Bonnie.
It's like if I say to you, Ane, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna meet me at 8:00 in the morning, right? And just play along with me. You gonna meet me at 8:00 in the morning?
Yeah.
Put that on your mother, that you gonna meet me at 8:00 in the morning.
What?
So what I'm forcing you into creating an oath with me. So now I'm not just going by your word. I'm having you put it on your mother.
Okay.
Which double down on it. Does that make sense?
Yes, like under oath, like when you get in court.
Right.
It's like they put, okay.
So what he's saying is put it on God. And he cried out to the Lord, right? He cried out with a loud voice and said, what I have to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God?
Yeah.
I know who you are. And he said that with a question mark, Son of the Most High God. What I got to do with you? I implore you by God that you do not tempt me. By God that you do not tempt me. So at that moment, he's waiting for Christ to agree. And what does Christ say in verse 8? For he said to him, come out of the man, unclean spirit. Then he asked him, what is your name? And he answered and said, my name is Legion, for we are many. Also, he begged them earnestly that he would not send them out of the country. Now, a large herd of swine was feeding there near the mountains. So all the demons begged him, saying, send us to the swine. Right, because they didn't want to be sent back to the pit, that we may enter them. And at once Jesus gave them permission. Go ahead, man. Then the unclean spirits went and entered the swine, and there went about 2,000. And the swine, there were about 2,000, and the herd ran violently down to the steep place into the sea and drowned in the sea.
Man.
So again, when we read these scriptures, man, this is why, it's discernment is important. This is why that connection to the Father is important, because you'll read that and it'll skip you. But that's important because we do it all the time to each other. Yo, Vaughn, you gonna call me, right? Yeah. Put that on your father. Put that on everything you love. How many times do you hear us say that? Put that on what you love. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get Christ to create an oath or a bond or try to swear an oath to him that he ain't going to do what he knows he's going to do. But, Christ saw that. So at the end of the day, it just goes to show you how if you don't have that discernment, that even in the words that we make, we create oaths and we swear all the time, not even knowing it. I'll be there tomorrow, man. On everything I love, I'm gonna be there. How you know you're gonna be there? How you know? What if the Lord gives you a flat? Now, what did you just create on your children? Or what did you just create on everything you love? When God tells you, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay, you don't have that power to do that. So this is what the enemy does. He creates these oaths that you do. And even though we don't see the effect that it has an effect. Words have effect. Words mean things. That's why they call them spelling. You create spell. It goes deep into it. But
wait, may I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
So, but it's like when I hear demon in my heart, it's it feels scary, right?
Right.
And then on the other hand, I'm saying to myself, well, where'd that demon come from? Where'd it come from?
The demons, okay. Okay, so let's go through it. Let's just be 100% and be totally with
Come on,
man. They come from God. That's where they come from. They come from God.
What are you talking about, man? What?
Yeah. God created everything, didn't he? Does it sound like when the devil is talking to Christ, right? Because we know Christ is God in the flesh. Does it sound like someone that's out of order? Does it sound like a dude that's just running around doing things that he's not supposed to do and he's just not going by the plan? Does it sound like that? Because this is the second time that we see a conversation where one, he's humbled. Okay. The way he approached Christ was in humility. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Okay, we've seen that with Job. He approached God with humility, correct?
Yes.
And here's the crazy thing. He didn't even approach God. God approached him. God said, yo, Satan, where you at? I'm walking to him, up and down the earth. Hey, you seen my dude over there? Check him out. See, again, we have to, it's perspective, man. Again, sometimes the Lord pulls back the curtains and he let us see. He let us see what happened with Pharaoh, right? That's why Moses didn't flip out. He pulled the curtain back and said, look, I'm not going to, you don't got to worry about it. He's going to say no. So that's why Moses didn't bug out, because Moses already knew the plan. We already know the plan. But what we have to understand is the bigger grand scheme of things. There's nothing on this earth that doesn't go down that God don't know about. There's nothing on this earth that does not go down. Nothing. God don't trust angels. Did y'all know that?
Wow. Wow.
That?
Yeah, and let me just say this, if I could piggyback off of what Brother Bolo was saying. See, God creates beings who have a free will, and I know a lot of people have an issue with the term free will. But in other words, what I do mean by it, for those of you who have issue with the term free will, is that He creates a being that can choose and decide whether it wants to be for God or against God.
Right.
Even with the angels, you see what I'm saying? They have that choice and ability. So when you have one that kind of bucks his head and bucks up against the system, and he has a lot of friends that support him, see, now they get kicked out of the space. You see what I'm saying? They get kicked out of the space. And now we call them fallen angels, which we basically say demons, But one thing I wanted to point out too, when we're speaking of demons, and because I do definitely believe that they're real.
Of course.
There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about, this instance right here where, Jesus cast that spirit out of the man, and it went into the swine, and it drowned itself. But now what we have to understand too is now that space is empty, it has to be occupied. And what does it have to be occupied with? Well, you would want it to be occupied with the Spirit of God, because the Bible says when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh around at dry places seeking rest and findeth none. Then he saith, I will return to my house from whence I came. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept and garnished. Then he goeth and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than itself. So we got to understand, this is a shrewd enemy that we're dealing with. This devil is powerful, but God is almighty. So if we're going to sit up and play games with this devil and think, especially for those of us who have no God, and you think that you're going to contend with this power, you are sadly mistaken. Because listen, that devil is shrewd, you see, and we really need God in us to contend with him.
Absolutely. Now, y'all, we want to hear from the Gray Pill. We call the Gray Pill a holy roller. He's a thumper. He's always got a Bible under his arm. I mean, man, a Bible on one arm, Quran under the other arm. We call the Gray Pill the thumper. I'm just playing that Gray Pill. One thing I appreciate about the Gray Pill, man, he knows how to stay in his lane. He may say his opinion, but he's definitely one type of person that'll stay in his lane. Gray Pill.
Yes, sir.
We want to hear from you, brother. We want to, you got all the stumpers up here. What do you say, brother?
I think because honestly, I originally came up, I was gonna be a little petty and play some other people's characters, but it's not that serious. But I just think overall, people just an example I believe I'm giving. People just need to take the time out, especially when they come on panels like these, when it's like real deep thought conversations. Just take the time out and have them. And if you don't know too much, just listen. And if you don't understand, ask the question, because a lot of things can be out the pocket of out of relevancy. So I think that's a problem. So
Okay.
definitely far from the Bible thumpers and all the crosses and crucifixes in my pocket. Far from that. I do hear the word when stuff like between you, especially Ron, because I pretty much quote him every other day when somebody like want to clap back and I quote him. I definitely quote Canada at the time, with her quote. So it just amazes me how y'all still, people like spaces like y'all still is a perfect example of what's still out there. And I try to tell other people when I see other spaces and they say there isn't like that, there's nothing else space like that. And I'm like, you sure? Because I'm witnessing it every day. I see conversations like these all the time, but unfortunately, these type of conversations, to you, brother Ron, and to all y'all guys, y'all just don't never get spoken on, or the views never jump like it's supposed to. You got to pretty much, I got to pretty much come on here, scream and curse y'all out before a number jump up. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what I got to share for that one. So I appreciate y'all very much.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for joining us, man. Appreciate it, cause you
Yeah,
know,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got left down, man. I'm sorry my computer's shut down. Enemy is messing with my computer.
yeah, man.
But
I had a power out here, man. It just blew everything out. I was like, what
can you do
happened?
me a favor? Can you do me a favor, Brother Clarence? Can you go to Job chapter 4?
Job chapter 4 in the
Yeah.
Bible.
Yes, sir.
All right, Job 4. Let's see. Let's see if we can do it, man. I used to could spell good, man, but I don't know. All right, here we go. Job
And we're
4
gonna
or Job 5?
Job chapter 4.
4, chapter 4. Okay, let's see. We got it. We got it. Here it is, brother. Here it is.
Now, if you jump down to verse 16, we can start from 16, but you can read the whole thing if you want.
Okay,
But I
here we
just
go.
want to show you that we have to understand that to try, God gives us snippets and pieces and bits to who He is and His sovereignty and how He rocks, right? So when we read Job starting from 16, right, we start from 15. It says, "Then a spirit passed before my face, and a hair of my flesh stood up." 16. "It stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof. An image was before mine eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying, Shall mortal man be more just than God?" Right? "Shall a man be more pure than his maker?" We know the answer is no. Now here's the part. "Behold, he put no trust in his servants." Now you might be thinking that's regular man. "And his angels he charged with folly." His angels. What can the archangel Michael do wrong? Can he do wrong? That's a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, your pop quiz is today. I was on mute. Sorry. Your test today. These.
What could the archangel Michael do wrong?
What could he do wrong?
Yeah.
Are we all
We're talking
capable
about
of doing wrong?
we're talking about the archangel Michael. We're not talking about man. We're talking about the archangel Michael. Yes, man is fallible.
I know,
We
but
were born in iniquity and sins.
did you not say earlier that God didn't even trust the angels?
That's the point that I'm trying to say. Angels don't do wrong. Demons don't do wrong. Understand the context that I'm putting it in. Demons do what they were created to do. Von Bryan said that, right? There are spirits that are created for darkness, and there are spirits that are created for righteousness. Dark spirits are not going to do righteousness. Righteousness are not going to do dark spirits. You're not going to see the archangel Michael, you know what I'm saying, doing something that Satan would do. That's called confusion. And God doesn't operate in that vibration. He has his right hand and he has the left hand. Those demonic forces, they do what they do. The angelic forces, they do what they do. But the point God is trying to say here is, I trust nobody. If I want something done right, I'm going to do it myself, as you've seen him coming as God in the flesh. That's the point. It's about him. It's always been about God. It's never been about anything else. It's about him. And that's the point. You know what I'm saying? That what the demon was trying to do, it's like you know when your child do something and you're so advanced beyond your child that you gave them, you know, they have autonomy, but you're just looking at this child and you're looking at them and you know that they're 13 steps behind you, 500 steps behind you. And you're like, you know what? I don't even got the time right now to do this. Just go into the pigs. Go ahead. Because ultimately you're going to die anyway. Because you see what the pigs did. But see, right from the jump, what did the demon say? Lord, don't tempt me. But put it on your father that you ain't going to tempt me. Christ didn't even respond. Put it on my father. My man, get out of the man and go into the pigs. So we
So
have to
I have
understand. Go ahead, brother.
I've got a question. So when we talk about mental illness, and a lot of people say that, let's see, what's her name, the young lady who drowned her kids, and then you had the other young lady who shot her kids, and we didn't even get to the guy who killed his mother and his family.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So here's my question, real quick, and I know it's going to turn everything upside down. But how thin is the line between mental illness and demonic possession?
That's a good question. Again, you have to be able to do the historical breakdown to it. I'm reading a book. I'm reading it online, but I can't get to it right now because I'm talking to you guys on my phone because my computer's booting up. But it's a psychiatrist who he got his degrees from Harvard and Columbia, and he was tasked with a woman that was demonically possessed, and it opened his eyes up to a whole lot of different things. So it's easy to say demonic possession. It's easy to say that, you know. Then it's easy to say mental illness. You got to know the history of the person, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all spiritual, though. Can't get away from that. It's all spiritual. But sometimes, people can fall through the cracks when it comes to medication. If you don't have the right medication,
Yeah.
you're subject. Understand when you're talking about people that are schizophrenic or people that do drugs, understand a lot of the times when they talk to themselves, they're not talking to themselves. It's just that we are not tapped into that zone to see what's going on right there. Because remember, even the natives, when they would tap into their spiritual side, what would they do? They would puff on that peace pipe to open up the spirits. Even when you look at Haitians, what do? They do the same thing. They drink when they deal with voodoo. So to open yourself up to those forces, there has to be some type of sacrifice when you're doing it outside of Christ, right? So the spirit of cancer, there has to be a sacrifice. What's that sacrifice? You smoking it. Does that make sense?
You talking to Vaughn or the whole panel?
I'm just talking to everybody.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there has to be a quid pro quo. Now, again, you can get cancer from standing next to someone that does smoke it and you don't. This is why you need to be very aware, and it's hard. This is why you can't, what does Christ say? What can the righteous do in a wicked world? Only cling on to him. That's all you can do is cling to him because everything is wicked here. Breathing the air is off, man. Every breath you take brings you closer to death with all the pollution that's in. The food brings you closer to death. The medication brings you closer to death. There's anything that these people make, there's a side effect to it. They don't go to the herbs. And this is why, a lot of the times when we speak about the natives that were here, they were so in tune with the earth that it was crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys ever saw Buck and the Preacher, right? This is when
Yes, I saw that.
you seen that, right? And this was one of the reasons why the natives had beef with blacks. Because remember, when the Indian and American War, blacks got involved. And that's where that beef started between the two. But when you watch Buck and the Preacher, they asked the natives, listen, we need to travel through your land. Is it okay? And they say, yeah, because I think it was Buck. He had a good relationship with the chief. And he was like, listen, we're going to have to eat. And he said, yo, Duke, you can only kill one bull, one buffalo. That's all you can kill. See, they were in tune with the earth. You know what I'm saying? They knew how to give back, even though we just finished reading Numbers, where the Lord was talking about how to plant. Plant for 7 years, give the earth a few years off while it yields to her fruit. You look at now, they plant 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. All of that reverence that we used to have for the earth, it's gone. It's no longer here. All of it's gone. So everything is spiritual, bro. Even being wicked is spiritual. Because they're all spirits. This is why.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, though. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
So, all right. So then demons are only doing what demons are supposed to do.
Yeah. They're only doing what they're supposed to do. That's it. The Lord created. The Lord said, I have created spirits for that day of darkness. I'll get it for you. It's just my phone. Let me see if I can find it. See, I've created spirits for that day of darkness. Their job is just to kill. That's their job. They do nothing else.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
And you know that question, Bolo, that many people have, and I understand the questioning, where they say, well, these are innocent children, and what kind of God would allow that to take place? When they're so innocent, what type of loving God? That you've heard this argument before, right?
Absolutely. I've gone through it. My son died, remember? I've gone through that and I've questioned it. At the end of the day, the question is, and I said this to Mandrell, and I think you were on stage when Mandrell was talking about, he had a beef with God. God got to tell him these different answers to these different questions. And when we went through it, when we pulled back the layers of it, I believe, and I might be getting the story off, but I'm gonna give you the gist. His father passed when he was going to go get something for the family, I believe, something like that. And that was Mandrell's beef. When we got to the crux of it, that was his beef. He was upset with the father. And I said to him, bro, I'm upset with the father at times too. But God says, be angry and sin not. I'm upset too. Why am I upset? Because I don't have the answer. I know there's a good one, but he hasn't made it privy to me. And this aches me day in and day out.
Now, I have a lot of respect for what you just said, because that question is brought to us as Christians oftentimes. You know what I'm saying? And that is a very good answer, is I don't know. That doesn't mean that this God doesn't exist. I just simply don't have the answer. You see what I'm saying? Because I only know things in part. My thoughts are not his thoughts, and his thoughts are not mine.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
my
nevertheless,
answer to him was, as soon as God lets me know, I'll let him know.
Yeah, because that is a question. And a lot of people hold that as to support, their atheist, being atheist, and, support their disdain for God. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have the answer for that. Now, I know there's some theologians that could break it down and make it sound this way and that way, But I do know that evil exists.
Right.
And the enemy is allowed to do certain things for whatever reason God has it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think, can I speak on that?
Of course you can.
Okay. Your show, man. What are you talking about? Did we take over Brother Clarence show? I'm sorry.
And thank you guys, did an excellent job. Okay, so my perspective is that the other side of the coin has to exist, because God don't want robots, right? He wants us to have a free will. Who wants somebody to love them that has to force that person to love them? I mean, nobody wants to force somebody to love them. So he wants people that loves him. So to love him, for him, you have to have the choice of not loving him. You have to have the choice of not, being in line with his viewpoint, so that your eyes can be open, because sometimes we have to see the reality of the situation so we can get a good understanding, right? Those of us that thought, man, we was living in our parents' house, we thought the situation was so hard, right? We thought it was so hard
You
until we
better
got
talk.
out on our
You
own,
better see it.
right?
Talk about it.
And you was like, maybe I should go back, right? But then mama and daddy already had said you went back. At least this is what happened to me. I went back into my room. I had went to college. I came back. My room, my bed was gone. All my furniture was gone. My mother had turned it into an office, right?
Listen, that's what I'm about to do right now. That's what I'm about to do.
I knew at that point I was never coming back. I was never coming back. I knew it. We never spoke on it or nothing. But just
Clarence,
yes, sir.
Go to Proverbs 16 for me, please.
Proverbs 16. Let me
Please.
see. Proverbs 16. Yeah, at that point I knew, hey, bro, see, you better make it happen on your own, because you ain't gonna
Your moms and your pops, they said it without saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
They said it without saying it.
I came home just for a visit to get some food from our refrigerator, some beans and rice, beans and hot dogs and stuff. And when I went in there, my mother kind of stayed at the end of the hallway to see how I was gonna react, right? But I was a G about it. I looked in there, I was like, okay,
hey,
all
time
right.
to move on. Got to move on.
You right then, I'm never coming back.
You made your bed, so you got to
You made your
know what
bed.
I mean?
Now sleep in it. Now sleep in it. Now again, the beautiful thing about the Father is like, we look at the story of Joseph. What God doesn't want us to do, this is why he keeps telling us, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow might not come. He wants you to focus on today and learn from your past to apply those lessons in the present, because you don't know what the future holds. And a lot of us, we waste so much time between the past and the future. We lose all of the messages that we need to get in the present, right? So when you read Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4, what does he say? Now we can read the whole chapter, right? It says in verse 4, the Lord hath made all things for himself. Everything is for him. Everything is made for him. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Everybody has a part.
Wait a minute, what? Did I read that right? Let me read that again. Bolo
you can read it.
I don't think Bolo can
My
read
bad.
it. I'm going to read it again because I didn't understand. Let me try it again. The Lord has made all for himself. Yes, that means don't sleep. Even the wicked. It means the Lord has made the wicked for himself for the day of doom.
Because
somebody got to go to that party, right?
Everybody has a part to play in this movie. Everybody has a part to play in this movie, because remember with Joseph, what they did to Joseph was meant for evil. But on the other hand, what they did was evil. But the Lord had that happen, because the Lord is so dangerous and so beautiful at the same time that he can reveal somebody to you at the same time. That same way he revealed them is meant to strengthen you.
Yeah.
So he revealed he revealed his brothers to Joseph, but at the same time, Joseph realized that if they didn't do what they did, he wouldn't be where they are now, and they wouldn't have a place for Israel to be during this famine in Egypt, in that area.
Yeah.
So he says to them, what you did to me was meant for evil, but the Lord meant it for good.
Yeah, I felt the same way about my mama. my mama throwing all
Yeah.
my my bed and my stuff away, right? I thought that was evil at first, right? But then I said it strengthened my resolve to go out there and be, take care of business out here, man. You know what I mean? And then it made me a better person because I didn't waste no more time, I didn't waste a lot of time after that.
Yeah. And you know what? We can also bounce right off of that fourth verse, where it says, even the wicked for the day of doom, right? And the Bible does basically simply say, fret not thyself because of evildoers.
Yeah.
Neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall what? Be soon cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. So there's a purpose for evildoers. Trust in the Lord and do good.
Yeah.
So everything is perspective. Whose
Yeah.
side you on, how
Yes,
you
sir.
see it. So
Exactly.
this is why it's important for the nuance. The nuance in the scriptures is very important, man. The nuance, the small little things that sometimes we miss, being that we were given this word to serve the creature more than the creator. The way we were given this word on the western side of the world was totally bonkers.
Yeah.
It was off, totally off. So now that you read it, you're like, damn, you got to reread everything else and reteach yourself. You got to sit there and go, okay, so I looked at this all wrong. I've been looking at it from this perspective when it was meant for me to look at it from that perspective. I mean, look at it this way. John the Revelator was taken into the throne room.
Yeah.
The throne room of God. Now, and when I first thought about it, I'm like, that's a beautiful thing. The throne room of God? Damn.
Yeah.
But then you have to think about it. You have all of these entities that the Lord created that runs the universe. The 24 elders, the kings that throw their crowns off at him all day, every day. Because it says that when John got there, everything stopped. So all of these entities, all of these power players stop and pay attention to you. That's frightening, my G. You ain't happy. You're like, yo, all of these dudes are doing things cosmically, and they all stop to go, yo, who's this? That's scary.
Shout out to Demetrius, by the way. Yeah.
And go ahead, Brother Mo.
Yeah, those things are scary. It's like when you watch, what was that movie called, Jeepers Creepers? Remember when he would just look at one kid, and everybody would move away from that one kid and be like, he's on to you.
Yeah, that was a devilish movie right there.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you have a sense of relief that they want Vaughn. They don't want Anae, me, Gray Pill, or Brother Clarence. They want Vaughn. So we're going to move out the way and let Vaughn handle it. You know what I'm saying? So it's scary. It's a beautiful thing because you're in the presence of God in the throne room, but damn, his glory, his power, his sovereignty. Oh, God.
And God wants us to understand that there is a consequence. These things, these accounts happen because that God is showing us that there is a consequence to sin. The Bible says that the wages of sin is death, right? But the gift of God is eternal life through who? Jesus Christ. So, this is a very good answer. This fourth verse for me, why did God create evil? This kind of opens it up a little bit better for me right there. And so I appreciate the sharing of that. Now I know it says 16, but it didn't tell me what chapter. What chapter are we in with that?
We're in chapter 16 of Proverbs, and you can read the whole chapter because it's the wisdom.
Proverbs 16.
Proverbs 16, man, goes in there. And again, remember, the scriptures are meant to be, although we can read it straight through, but the scriptures are meant to be put together.
Oh, yeah.
The secrets of the scriptures are meant to be here a little, there a little, precept upon precept, line upon line. So there are certain scriptures that link up and you have to move. You know what I'm saying? Not all scriptures are like that. Not all verses are like that, but there are some that are.
Well, this
And you have
particular
to
one definitely, I believe, stands on its own.
absolutely.
That's a very good
Absolutely.
answer.
Okay,
to
But
that,
you see,
that
but
question.
what we have to take from that too is remember what he said. The Lord has made all for him.
For himself.
All of this is for him.
Well, the Bible says that the earth is the Lord and the
That's
fullness
it.
thereof, and they that dwell therein.
Boom.
Okay,
So
I'm
we
gonna ask
gotta
one
stop.
last question.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask one last question, and then we got to get out of here, y'all.
This was a great conversation, man, by the way. I
Conversation.
really appreciate it.
Okay, this is for anybody on the panel, even Great Pill. I know you're not a thumper, Great Pill, but you know you could just look at it from your perspective.
Am I a thumper?
Well, I mean, they would say, you know, they would call us thumpers, right? We always talk about the Bible and
I don't
God.
know about this
Right?
thumping, brother Clarence.
Embrace it, Vaughn. Embrace it. Embrace it. We squares and thumpers. All right, so let's check it out. Okay, now I got a question for mainly Brother Bolo, but all of us can try and answer this question. If the Lord made all of this for himself, even the wicked for the day of doom, is the Lord selfish? And if the Lord is selfish, why doesn't he want us to be just as selfish as him?
Good question.
Well, I know
Listen,
that
that's a good.
the Bible does say that he is a jealous God.
Yeah.
In other words, listen now, you're not going to have no other gods before me, because that I'm just not going to put up with that.
Right.
Right.
Jealous doesn't mean, but jealous doesn't mean selfish.
No. I wasn't saying.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just making sure that whoever's listening, that they don't take what you're saying as to be, synonymous with.
I get what you're saying, but I'm making a point that when God makes statement like that, like I swear by my own name. Well, listen, he's God all by himself. Okay. You see what I'm saying? And who can whip him? He's God. Come on now.
Nobody that I know.
Here's the thing. When we say is God selfish because he made everything for himself, here's where oh, wow.
I wouldn't consider God to be selfish, and that's just my
opinion. It's not. It's not. But the way the way you have to phrase it. Okay. Let's look at it. Okay. God created all of this for himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I know me. I have a little patience. I'm not as good as you and Anthony. Or Vaughn. But I got a little patience. Okay.
Shout out to Ant. Shout out to Ant.
You're talking about a man who's waited thousands of years for man to get it right. And has it. You're talking about a man that didn't just wait. He got off the throne himself and came down here. He was ridiculed, whipped, beat, impaled, spit on for you and for me. So if selfish is in that, then I want to be everything that is. Because when you look at the embodiment of what love is, there is no better embodiment of that than Christ. As far as him being a service. King of Kings. The other day I read, I forget where, but I'm sure if I look for it, I'll find it, where he said, I came down in poverty. I came down in poverty so that you guys can come to me and we all can go in riches. And I'm paraphrasing. And we all can be rich together. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Give me that. I want to be with him.
What makes me understand that God is not selfish is John 3:16. You see what I'm saying? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him would not perish, but have everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave. Selfish people don't give nothing.
Yeah.
All right. I'll leave it there.
May I say something? May I say my thought?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. So selfish in the sense that, like, when, you know, and growing up, your parents say, don't be selfish, you need to share, don't keep it to yourself. Okay. We, to me, when we say I do this all for God, it's for his glory, right? So we're almost like acknowledging that it's okay that even if it is that he's being selfish, we're in agreement with it, because we're saying everything I do, how I breathe, how I function, when I'm off path, I want to be corrected. I want to get back in line where I'm glorifying him. So if I'm in my walk wanting to give it all back to him, everything that I do and say, then why would I not want him to know that that I acknowledge and know that everything that he's doing is for him, for his glory, for himself. Like, I don't know if I had to give the title of him being selfish, God being selfish, that I see that as a bad thing, because what's the alternative? Because even if he's doing for us, it's us doing back for him. It's just a constant boomerang, but it's coming back to him.
Good point. What do you think, Gray Pill?
Wow.
Gray Pill with us still?
I'm still taking it, sir. I'm still taking
I still thinking it over.
That was a good point, man.
All right.
Let
me put my thought out there. While Gray Pill's getting himself together. Let me put my thought out there. Now, this could be, like Any said, I was thinking along the same lines as Any. That what if him being selfish is the best thing for everybody? That is the best option on the table, his selfishness. Now, from our perspective, it's going to look like selfishness. But from his perspective, he don't really need us to do anything. He don't really need us. So if I don't need it, then I'm trying to make it work for everyone. So how can that be selfish? Right? In other words, everything running through my thinking process and everything going through the way I think, and I make everything go through the way I think, is the best solution for everyone. It doesn't leave anybody out on the street. Everybody's gonna eat if they listen to if they follow my thinking. Now, if without minus me, some people are gonna starve, some people are gonna have more than others, some people, it's gonna be uneven as it is today, right? But if I follow, if everything goes through my thinking, because I even got a place for the people because we all from the body of Christ, right? So we all going to go back home. Well, not all of us. Some of us are going to go back home, right? And so as we go back home, there's a place for us to come back home. And there's a place for the people that ain't going home. They got some place to go too. So if you keep his word, you really see it's not selfishness, it's selflessness. Selflessness, because you get to experience his love and glory without really having to put a lot into it. If you just would be obedient to it, you'll see how easy that'll be. Okay, well, no, don't even worry about it, Great Pill, because we're gonna wrap up, man. I'm gonna let you get the last word in here on this, and then we're gonna start wrapping up. So
can I say this now? Because I'm prepared.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear you, brother. It's hard to hear you.
There's a lot going on my end. I apologize. I just want to say thank everybody. Appreciate you, brother Vaughn. I didn't forget you. You had mentioned a movie on my end about Sybil. I saw it the same day. I watched it twice. That's a great movie. I'm gonna suggest
Yes,
the movie.
sir.
So y'all have a good night. Thank you.
All right, hey man, Great Pill.
Great Pill.
Great Pill. When's the next time we can catch you, man?
Tuesday, I'm gonna send brother Bolo a email. So Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, we're gonna have a group conversation. We're gonna be talking about projection and codependency.
Right on.
Well, send me an email too, brother.
Yeah, send me that email too, man, because I want to not so
Man,
much.
just send all of us the email, man. Send everybody the email.
I just want to hear. I want to hear the conversation. I just want to remember to tune into the conversation.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm glad you watched that movie, brother, because it showed you all of those different personality traits, right?
Yeah, because I have to go through the history of it because I'm a big movie buff. So if I see stuff like that, I like to dive deeper. So I got to go find the actual articles and stuff and look
Yeah,
into
it
it.
was a true story. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna see another movie in reference to a little bit like that because I think because all old movies and the new movies is a good reference from the all original movies. So I
Yeah.
think is one I'm gonna suggest to you. I think you would like that a lot.
Yeah.
What movie was that? What movie?
It was called Sybil.
I think I saw that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Great
I heard
Peel.
it.
Great Peel.
Yes.
Before you go off, I just want to tell you that I really appreciate you. I've really enjoyed your past few streams, and it makes my heart so happy when I hear how you just advocate for just people being able to clearly see situations and not being so quick to jump on like a popular perspective of something. So I really appreciate you.
Are you?
Non-biased. Yeah.
I pretty much like again. I kind of it's from y'all guys. I've been a lot of people. I think one guy from Mount Delicious. I forgot his name, but he's from Cali. He said this one time. I guess 'cause some people not observing other people. I really never said anything. I just watch and observe, and I see stuff on rinse and repeat, like an old MP3 player game. And me and Bob Plumage had this touch a little bit of conversation. It is odd to me that real people in real life act the way they do with social media, but on the gamer side, we don't act like that. We troll like it's like a line of joking, and then we just really move off. The moment we log off, I'm not thinking about volleyball, but if I log on, I catch ball in that game, it's on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But for real people to do the stuff they're doing, and I'm seeing like in real time, especially the current situation, I guess that kind of like got me motivated to put more of the motivation to speak right is right and wrong is wrong. And then on my end, I always like to leave everything as an open perspective. Like, hey, y'all guys in the chat, you tell me. Me and Marcus low key kind of disagree on like majority of stuff, but we don't come at each other like angry attitude or whatever. But he's like the main example of he might say something that either may troll me or antagonize me, or we might have like real conversations about. So we'll still come back and have conversations. So that's pretty much the whole basis of our group conversation. Me and Wes, me and Ruby, we just get at it. Rico and Brother Steve, again, another perfect example. You don't have to get in your feelings because of a disagreement. The topic is going to all the time. The topic is going to change all the time, and that's the problem with a lot of people. So when I see people in all those toxic spaces, and I might see one person, and I reach out to them on an email or something like, "Hey, man, there's other space here," and I'll suggest to them that, right? But I know behind the scenes they're always running over there that toxic space, but behind closed doors they're screaming and crying, "Man, they do this," and I'm like, "Okay, but I'm watching you, so I don't trip them. I just know who you are, and it's not a big deal if that's what you're about. Fine, great. But if I catch something like the big content creators, influencers, they're saying the stuff they're saying, they're doing the stuff they're doing, and for 3 years I've been watching the people because we're all from the bottom ground of the YouTube street, so to speak. We're really in on the street, so we're watching all these big content creators come up from 2K to 100K. The mods that work for them, the chatters that support them hardcore, but it's like, yo, are you really trying to say you're not an echo chamber, but you're literally every time this male or female say something, you're diehard fans for these people? I was like, that's crazy. That's not how it was brought up. Whether me and my mom don't like each other, whether we don't get along or not, I was always raised right and wrong is wrong. I can literally walk out a room from somebody just literally want to knock their teeth out, like, hey man, you got it, God bless, love you. And I'll just leave because it's not that serious. If it's that serious, I'd have been in jail a long time ago.
Yeah. All right, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you again. I appreciate y'all.
All right, man.
All right, bye.
All right, go over there and check out the Great Pill Podcast if you haven't already subscribed to him.
Yes, sir.
Go on over there and check him out. It's good, brother, man. Hey, I just saw a movie, and I'm going to give you guys a quote. I saw a movie this weekend. I'm going to give you guys a quote. You guys got to tell me what movie it was. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bolo, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to do it. Your powers are weak, old man.
Star Wars.
Yeah, which one?
Empire Strikes Back.
No.
No. Star Wars, the original. Sorry, the original
The
Star Wars.
original.
What is that? A New
Original,
Beginning?
baby. The
A New
original, baby,
Beginning.
when they met at the
When he
light
met
bridge.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. When he fought
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah.
They met on the light bridge. And he
Yeah.
was like, "You'll never get away with this, Darth." He's like, "Your powers are weak, old man."
Yeah.
All these
right,
pop
y'all.
quizzes today been tough.
All right, y'all. Let's start wrapping up. Let's get out of here. I think we got a good time here. 39. That's not bad. And we did some good talking, man. I think we laid out some good information. Gave some people some stuff to think about, even if they didn't agree with us or they did agree with us or whatever. We gave them some stuff to think about, right? And that's the point, because we're not trying to win nobody over. We're trying to give them enough information to win themselves over, right? Give you enough information so that you could earn a ticket to the dance, right? All right. So anyway, let's start wrapping up, y'all. Let's get up out of here. Let's be done with it here. Anybody want to go?
Bolo, you want to go first, or you good? I can go first, but I just want to be conscious of your time.
No. You can go first, darling. Ladies
Okay.
first.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
I definitely want to. I appreciate this topic today because it reminded me of some places where I got to pray over for myself. But I can't do anything without God.
Right on.
I don't want to do anything without Him.
Right on.
Like I said, what I mentioned earlier, just the word demons is scary to me. So just even in writing the word, if I ever wrote the word down, I'm writing God right after it, because I always want it to be known that if I'm in a situation where, because I think that we're all vulnerable, or we could all fall prey to receiving or okaying a demonic spirit, depending on what happens to us in life. So I pray to God that for any times that my faith is not strong enough and I've fallen to a demonic spirit, that He places pigs around me, but He places people around me to remind me to just remember where He stands, in the same way that scripture where that demonic spirit was talking with Jesus. I want Him always near me, always for me. So, and I also want to pray that, like, people that may have demonic spirits around me, that either I remove myself or that I have the strength and discernment to be able to know the words to use to let that person know who they need to call on. So
that's right.
It's a tough topic. This one I'm actually gonna so Vaughn, thank you for mentioning that scripture, and Bolo for just kind of dissecting that a bit for me, because I did not understand it that way. But not even just because I even gave myself an opportunity to read it. So this is why it's so important to read. I can't be lazy and just keep relying on people's interpretations of what they receive, and read it myself. And then I'm just like, wait, I still don't get it.
Don't feel bad, because we've been taught to be late.
Yeah. And I feel like I have been doing that quite a bit here lately. So
But we're
I'm
never
thankful
taught
for
to read on our
people.
own or carry this book on our own or study on our own. We were taught, here's the preacher, listen to the preacher. In our eyes, hey, this is one day we ain't got to work. If I got to sit here and listen to this man, I ain't got to get out there in that field, right?
Yeah, and I'm thankful for places like this, places like Bolo TV. I'm thankful for the people that come on each one of y'all channels. You know what I'm saying? When y'all are having discussions. So I'm thankful to God for y'all. I'm thankful for you, Brother Clarence, you, Bolo, you, Vaughn. I'm thankful for Anthony. I'm thankful for even Von Eric. I'm thankful for Yosef. I'm thankful for Demetrius. I'm thankful for Gray Peel. Like, I'm so thankful for people that are open to having conversations that open the door for God to show Himself. Because you don't have to, like, even like when I listen to Gray Peel's channel, even if he doesn't say God, his behavior, his, his discernment, his grace in some of the situations, that's God. So I'm just praying for spaces where God is going to just get the glory in all of it. So I thank you for having this conversation today. I'm praying for, like I said, Susan Smith. She would not. I did not have good thoughts about her when that story came out. When it
Hey,
first
Bolo,
came
you got a little background noise, Bolo. Bolo.
My bad.
Yeah.
But I'm praying for them to understand their actions, to grow from them and be better. I'm praying for people around them to not pacify them and give them justifications for what they did. Acknowledge what you did and pray and repent and not do it again.
There you
You know
go.
what I'm saying? So I pray for everybody involved in those situations. I pray for the souls of the children that lost their lives. So I thank you for having this topic.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Love y'all.
I love you, Sue, sis. Excuse me. Y'all was gonna get one more in on her. Y'all knew I was gonna get one more in on her. That's my sister. I love her so much. All right, okay, y'all. Let's start winding down. BB Bolo, what we gonna do?
I'll go next.
All right.
Yeah, well, thank you for the conversation, man. Very
Thank you,
important.
brother.
Yeah.
You broke my computer, so I'm gonna have to cancel tonight's show.
What?
What?
Yeah. I'll see if I do it from the phone. It won't be long, but I'll see what it is. But yeah,
I caught a little bit of the Friday show, so yeah, I think I got a little bit of Bolo TV. So if you cancel tonight's show, we just have to deal with it. Do what you
I
got to
didn't do
do.
nothing Friday night. I didn't do nothing. I moved it to Saturday, but then
Was
I
it
got
Saturday
some
night?
new. I was supposed to do Saturday night, but what happens is I got this new equipment and it's not
Oh,
working.
Wednesday night I caught you. Okay, that's what I caught you.
It's not
Oh,
working as
he's trying to
smoothly.
figure out the equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not working as smoothly as like I said, I was talking to you guys and the computer just shut off. So I gotta figure that stuff out. But
Well,
these
you were crystal
conversations,
clear earlier, man. You were crystal clear
yeah,
earlier.
it was working when it was working. It's good to have these conversations because again, like Anae said, it takes our mind off of the guesswork. The book is right there. Everyone has one and it's available. The Bible is free in the App Store or the Android store. So
Yeah,
it's very important because at the end of the day, we need him. He don't need us. So
there
we
you
have to focus on that and humble ourselves to understand. And the one thing I want to talk about too is these words that we use that we try to superimpose on certain things, like like when you said selflessness opposed to selfishness, with love and all these different terminologies that we give new, that don't belong. We have to stop with, being that we come from this bastardized language where it takes from every other language and there is no father to it. You know what I'm
go.
saying? That it's easy to get caught up and lose the spirit of the original word of what it means because there's so many different definitions. We have to go back to the original definition of what these words mean. It's so important. So thank you, Brother Clarence, for having this conversation.
Thank you,
VB,
sir.
Anae, Vagoda, Great
Yes,
Pill,
sir.
thank you guys. You're godsend, man. So stay up. Thank you so much. Have a
You
blessed
too.
night, guys. Love you all.
Wait, Bolo, before you sign off,
Yes,
man.
sir.
When
Yes.
if we don't see you tonight, when's the next time we're gonna see you again?
It's gonna have to be in the morning at 7 o'clock. Most likely it's gonna be through my phone if I can't get this
Okay.
fixed tonight. So
Okay.
most likely it's gonna be through my phone. So yeah, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning Eastern Standard Time.
My man. All right. There we go.
Thank you, my brother. Love you
Thank
all, man. Have a blessed night.
you. Love you, bro. Peace. Thank you for stopping through. All right, that's our brother Bolo. Go catch him over there at the Village, man. If you haven't already subscribed to the Village, what is you doing? What is you doing? Clarence, I don't know, man. They're a bunch of thumpers over there. That's okay. You know what I mean? Pick up what you can pick up, leave what you can't carry, come back later when you got a better understanding and a bigger cart, and you can carry more stuff away, right? The one thing about Bolo TV, man, they don't charge you for all that goodness they giving. They giving you. They ain't charging you for it, right?
Yeah, the food is free over there.
The food is free,
The
brother.
food is free.
And it's gonna fill you up, man. It's gonna fill you up so
You
good,
can't beat
right?
it.
And then you're gonna feel good about, like everybody else is at the club. You on Bolo TV, the village, man. You sitting there talking about the Lord with Von Bryant. It don't get no better than that, man. It don't get no better than that, right? All right, brother Von.
Wow.
Then it was 2, brother. What's your final thought, man?
Listen, man. Of course we've been missing you in this space. But so glad that you're feeling better, and it's just good to see you back.
Much better.
And today was a very good show, very insightful. Man, you see what I'm saying? We all tapped into each other and learned something.
Yes.
Excuse me. And learned something from each other,
Yes.
And man, what can I say, man? I need more of this. I need more of this in these spaces.
All of us.
And if we can just be that example, I believe that we will draw. You see what I'm saying? We will draw a lot of people. So I'm just looking forward to the next stream, and hopefully all is well with you and your wife. And
thank you, brother.
Appreciate everybody that was on the panel today. Everybody that was on the panel today, I really appreciate them. And yeah, I just look forward to the next time, man. God bless, peace, and blessings.
All right. Thank you, Brother Vaughn. Appreciate you. I'm going to pull you down. All right. That was Brother Von Bryant. Okay, y'all. I mean, y'all got to understand, man, that, we got other stuff to do too, man. We got other stuff to do, man. Bola could be doing something else. Vaughn could be doing something else. Any could be doing something else. I mean, we got a lot of stuff we could be doing, right? But we want to spend time with you, man. We love y'all, man. We want to spend time with y'all. Risa got stuff she could be doing. I mean, we all got stuff we could be doing. But we want to spend time with y'all. And we want to talk to y'all about something relevant to your life, and which is your connection to this God. And I know a lot of people say, I don't need God, Clarence. I got $100,000 in the bank. I'm this, I'm that. Go read that Proverbs 16 again, because there's another passage in there that says, basically, what good is it that it says it's better for you to have a loving heart than a full bank account, basically, paraphrasing. So, because money can leave, money gonna come and go. But when somebody truly loves you, even if you separated from them, if they truly love you, that love is never gonna go nowhere. God loves you, God loves us, God loves me. I mean, even if I walk away, I might step off the reservation for a minute, right? And I have in my life. I've stepped way off the reservation. I did stuff I never thought I would do, not being connected to God. And when I find myself in a pattern of doing those things, I just ask God to please help me. But the people don't know that God even got the power to help them, right? Here we are talking about saving their lives and getting them across the water. They're not here. Where they at? They're someplace talking about some person they'll never meet in their life, trying to get information about that person because that person's trending or popular or whatever, right? Clarence Puff Daddy about to be arrested. Who cares? What do I care about Puff Daddy when I could be talking about God? What do I care about Puff Daddy? They ain't doing nothing to him that he didn't walk himself into. But here we're talking about God, a better understanding of God and how to extract the power of his word to make it work in my life. and the people are running. They're running full speed, Jesse Owens speed, away from having these kind of conversations. But I agree with Vaughn. At one day, the table gonna turn, and they're gonna be running looking for us. They're gonna be trying to break down the door to get it. We're gonna have so many people in the chat, it ain't gonna make no sense. But that's later. That's later. We got work to do. We got other lives to save right now, man. So everybody, man, just hold on. We're gonna continue the work we're trying to do, build up a reputation of doing what we say and saying what we do and doing what we say and being on target. And so I just appreciate everybody who listened to us, whether you stayed the whole time or you popped in and popped out, whatever. I thank you all for listening to us, man. And I think your reward is going to be the fact that you did listen to us. And we can't, because we sincerely out here talking, man. We ain't trying to blow no smoke up your butt. Not me, not Vaughn, not Bolo, not any, not Great Pill, not nobody that came up here today. And shout out to all of them. They did a great job. All of them, everybody came on the panel today, did a great job. Very strong performance from everyone. Very strong performance from the chat. You guys gave us a strong performance too. And when they see that, when new people see the synergy of the chat and the panel, they're able to get an idea of what we about. And most of them think they way slicker than us, so they feel like they don't need us, right? Because they so slick, right? Until they get to a point where they slickness they can't out slick the number one slicker, which is the devil. Can't out slick the devil. But they have a fun ride. Oh yes, you're right, Sister Annie. Shout out to Pagoda. I forgot about him. All right. So what's happening now? Y'all, we will get back to let's see, we're gonna try to do at least one show a week. Now that I'm feeling better, I was really under the weather, but God, I am a witness that God is alive. I'm a witness, because if I live to be 1,000, I can never explain all the things that God saved me from, pulled me out of, turned me around from, some of the stuff I had to go through it. I had to go through the punishment of doing what I did and get the consequences. But just all of that, and then at a certain point, opening my mind to his understanding, giving me an opportunity to get his understanding. But that's not sexy to everybody. So they're not breaking their legs to get over here, because that's not sexy. That's okay. Living pain-free, medication-free, if you can, that's sexy. Or living, just be able to reach out, whether you're on medication or not, whether you have being able to reach out to the God. Sometimes we just don't know how good we got it. Remember, I'll talk to you about when you living at home, you think, man, I gotta take the trash out, and I gotta wash the dishes. Then you move out and get your own place. You gotta wash the dishes anyway. You gotta take the trash out anyway. Plus, you gotta pay the rent. Plus, you gotta pay the phone bill. Plus, you gotta pay the light and gas. Right? Right. But God is the greatest, man. Allahu Akbar. All right, so we're gonna see y'all again next week. I try to think of a good topic, because I try to teach from the realities of life, yet show how God can step in and help us. So we'll try to find another topic for y'all next week. Very strong performance. Oh, Sister Annie, I didn't say Sister Annie. Strong performance from Sister Annie. Everybody did a great job today. Everybody did a great job. So let's keep it going, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. And we will see y'all on the next stream. Thank you.